What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook, all platforms? Welcome back to another episode of True Big Blue Podcast. And with your boy Big Pat and my co-host GNATION will be on soon. We're gonna add in Logan and Nate. What's going on, fellas?
What's
Your
up, bro?
your boy has too much dandruff. I got frosted flakes in my hair.
Hey, the Knicks. I will say
Yes,
this.
sir.
Basketball is a lot better when the Knicks are doing good. If you're a New York Knicks fan, man, you need to stand up for your team, man. Never thought I'd see this day again when the Knicks are actually relevant. I believe you guys got the fourth or the fifth seed.
Fourth.
The fourth seed, man. That's great. Basketball is definitely better when the Knicks are playing good.
With back-to-back wins.
Right.
End the season.
Who's the I can't think of the power forward's name, but he's
Beardless
our MVP.
Joel.
Joe, what's going on, Joe? Oh, I like the hat, Joe.
You like that, do you?
I got a hoodie and a hat coming in soon, man.
Yo,
Joe, I
Joel.
like the hat that I got coming in, but
Me and my dad are thinking about going fishing. We're gonna use your videos as a tutorial, my guy.
Oh, there you go. I got another one that's going to come up tomorrow.
what's going on, Miz? What's going on, Joseph? The GOAT. What's going on, y'all? But Joe, I'm glad you're here, man, because we could get into it deep from the beginning of the show. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Kelvin Benjamin and what he means as a sign into this team.
Popeyes.
He had that biscuit. Let's be honest. He had that biscuit.
Yes, he did have that biscuit. I believe he's 245 now.
Yeah.
All right, Calvin Benjamin. Okay, you know what? This could be the guy that like really surprises everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? He was an okay player. Could have been great had he learned to control his weight, control his attitude. But here again, young guy, lots of money, fame, fortune. I don't know how some of these guys do it, but I don't think I could do it. Being 21, 22 years old and being a millionaire right out of college.
Right out of college, as soon as they sign the contract.
Exactly. The kid, he used to be pretty good at blocking. I know people are saying that Joe Judge, the wide receivers coach, but their wide receivers weren't that great. Well, that's right. They really weren't that great. I mean, 2 years ago is when he was up there. And what did he really have to work with? They dropped off. Definitely last year, once Judge became the head coach for the Giants, we saw that. Those guys were definitely not up to par as what they were the year before. He has to know something. He has to see something. We've had so much confidence in him after last year. We've been praising his name for the draft. We praised his name through free agency. And now all of a sudden, Calvin Benjamin comes onto the team. Judge gives him a contract, and we're thinking that it's a Gettleman signing again to get who's the running back out of Carolina we grabbed.
You said out of Carolina?
Yeah, that Carolina that he only played in like maybe a half a game. He had 9 carries. 26 yards, got hurt for the year.
From my last year?
Yeah.
What?
Or was no? It was the year before. Who the heck?
I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Out of UNC?
No. Dave Gettleman drafted him at Carolina and then brought him to the Giants to back up.
Oh, you're talking about Stewart.
Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, Jonathan Stewart. Yeah.
Everyone's comparing this to the Jonathan Stewart thing, but you know what? We love this draft. We love this free agency, and if he thinks he can get a flyer on Benjamin and maybe get 6-8 games out of the guy, I don't think he's expecting him to be a starter, 100 catches a year guy. Maybe bring him in for a heavy package. I forget who it was I was watching, but if you get Benjamin in there, Rudolph, Galladay, and Tooney, our average height is 6'4.5".
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's height.
I'm gonna tell you what I believe they brought him in here for. He's originally a Dave Gettleman guy, so you know Dave Gettleman. He loves the big receivers. As you can see through his drafts past, He's drafted nothing but big receivers. Devin Funchess, Kelvin Benjamin. He loves those big type guys. I think Kelvin Benjamin came to him and said, hey, I want to play again. Let me try out at tight end. If he still has his route running ability from when he was a receiver, if he still has that a little bit, I don't see why this guy can't be a contributor. I don't see why this guy, you can't at least take a flyer on this guy. This is low risk, high reward type move. I believe he's going to battle with Caden Smith. For some reason, I do not believe Joe Judge has any faith or even likes Caden Smith. For some reason, I don't believe he likes him. Even though I believe Caden Smith can be a valuable tight end to any team. I believe he has a great skill set. But I believe it's going to be a battle between him and Caden Smith who makes this roster. And if Kevin Benjamin doesn't make this roster, I believe he's going to be on the practice squad waiting to come in, say if an injury happens to Toilolo, or say if we actually trade Evan Ingram, which if Kelvin Benjamin still has some of his athleticism left in him, he could be a better option than Evan Ingram. Well, he does not drop the ball. He was just a fat receiver. And you can't be a fat receiver in this league and be successful. But when he first got here, that dude had superstar potential. A lot of people forget this guy's 6'5". There's nothing more than another red zone target. And I'll be doing a video on Rudolph and Daniel Jones coming up here soon to show you exactly what Rudolph was brought here for. So let's say Rudolph can't get going because of his foot. Kelvin Benjamin's almost the same type guy. Yep. And if they could teach him how to block, which he wasn't a bad blocker at receiving. I don't know where everybody's getting us saying that this dude can't block. You don't want to put him on defensive ends every down, but you're not going to be against a defensive end every down. Most of the time, he's going to be running routes. And those routes, those curl routes and those quick out routes that Jason Garrett loves to run with his tight ends, Kelvin Benjamin could be an absolute beast doing that if he gets his mind correct. And I believe Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman can get it out of him. So low risk, high reward. That guy turns out to be anything. That's a damn good pickup in spring training. He's been in the league, I believe, 5 years, but he's been out the last 3. So I believe they're going to work him extremely hard to see what his conditioning is. If he passes the conditioning test, because that's the first test he's going to have to prove. If he can prove that he can pass his conditioning test, then the sky's the limit for him, man.
I got a question for
tight end, I love him at tight end. Go ahead, Logan.
You're good. Is it just me, or would Kelvin Benjamin, if he can still hold on to the ball and if he still has that route running ability, wouldn't he be the perfect replacement for Evan Ingram?
Yes, he would be. He'll be a little bit slower, but he's bigger and he knows how to use his body a whole lot better.
Yo, Authentic's in the house. What's up, Authentic?
Yeah, shout out to Authentic, man.
I got this new logo for my channel. There you go.
What's going on, Play Slay? But that's what I think about that move with Kelvin Benjamin. Everybody's like going haywire. He was not brought here to be the number one guy. Like,
Kelvin's 30, Joseph.
He's 30.
I mean, I agree with you. I think he might have went to Gettleman. However, it has to be Judge's decision as to whether he's got signed or he's on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that just goes to show how they're working together, because Gettleman probably got the call. He went to Judge. He said, what do you think? Well, let's just bring him in for a workout and see what the kid can do. Apparently, he's still in shape. He was catching the ball. He must have done something to impress Judge and say, all right, let's get him into camp and look at him. By the way, going into camp, how about all those guys showing up for OTAs? Daniel Jones was there in camp too.
Yeah, I mean, this camaraderie of this team is absolutely great. But like I said, with Kelvin Benjamin, they are going to test his conditioning. They're going to run the absolute hell out of Kelvin Benjamin. If he passes that test, I believe he has a good chance of making this roster because it's going to be between him and Caden Smith.
What's
Because
going
you
on,
got to
Pat?
keep Toy. What's going on, Ash? You
Hey,
got to
Ash.
keep
What's going on, y'all?
Toy Lolo as the blocker. Evan Ingram's the pass catcher. You know Rudolph is going to be the red zone threat. So that fourth tight end is going to be a battle between Caden Smith and Kelvin Benjamin. If Benjamin shows that he can run routes better, that he can catch better, and maybe he can even block is just as good as Caden Smith. I don't know. I like Caden, but I don't know.
I have full confidence that Kelvin Benjamin can block better than Evan Ingram. That's all I want.
Please don't say Evan Ingram is a pass catcher. I'm sorry, but
let's be real though, man. We haven't used Evan Ingram the way that he was supposed to be used, except his first year when we were using him correctly, when we were trying to put him up the seams and everything. He's not a traditional tight end.
He's supposed to be used with like a stereotypical tight end, and he's going to line up in the slot. He's not going to be like a normal tight end.
When you want Evan Ingram doing not curl routes, you want him doing deep post corners, going in the slot. You want Evan Ingram as a weapon, like trying to get him against a linebacker and let him work against that linebacker.
You want him doing like 10 yards.
Just a versatile player that you can line up on the outside.
For a while. I've been saying this for a while, especially when we got Kyle Rudolph. I was like, don't be surprised if Evan Ingram is like actually a top 5 tight end this year. Because now since we got Kyle Rudolph, this dude is going to be lined up correctly. And
he can't catch.
Yeah, but
y'all forgot Pro Bowler Evan Ingram.
Pro Bowler Evan Ingram.
Bowler.
Oh, he might actually be a Pro Bowler this year.
Big Pat.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want to keep interrupting the stream, but I got to show this thing.
I feel like it's all mental with Evan Ingram last year because like he was really looked at as the number 1 threat, and yeah, I mean if you can't catch, you can't catch. But now we got Golladay, we got Tony, so now it's like a lot of pressure is gonna be taken off him, and a lot of coverage is gonna be taken off him as well. So this dude might ball out.
Evan Ingram since 2019.
Hey,
like I said, he hasn't been getting used correctly. To his defense, you got to be fair to him. He hasn't been used correctly since he's been drafted. Those drops and everything last year, Ash Money is completely correct. You can see it in his face. It's mental. Whatever he was thinking about last year, I don't know what he was told last year by Jason Garrett, that he was the absolute main target. I believe he got over 100 targets last year, like 108 or like 111, somewhere through there. Evan Ingram is a talented individual.
He is.
No question about it. He's talented.
He's extremely athletic.
I believe he has to work better on his craft as far as route running. As a tight end, he just believes that he can just use his athleticism to get past people. This is the NFL. This is not Ole Miss.
And also, I say like it's mental because this dude was a monster when he was the number 1 target in his rookie year. Like, dude was a monster.
Yes, he was. He was an absolute monster. Last year, I don't know where that came from last year. I've never seen Evan Ingram drop the ball like that.
Yeah.
Like that's completely mental. I will give him this. He's a hard worker. Joe Judge loves the guy.
He's a good dude.
He's a very good dude. He's actually a good teammate. It's just that something about last year, it just wasn't clicking for him, man. It wasn't normal to him, man. I looked at him as a player. It wasn't normal.
The Eagles put Vaseline on his gloves. Is what happened.
You know what I think?
I guess it was like him learning a new scheme, which kind of like messed his altitude up.
Nah, you know what I really think it is? I think because once Saquon got injured, Jason Garrett tried to focus the offense and make Evan Ingram the main point of the offense. Because you saw it. Evan Ingram was like the main person getting targeted. You saw Daniel Jones staring down Evan Ingram coming across the field. So I felt like when Saquon got hurt, Jason Garrett viewed Evan Ingram, as like the main playmaker on this offense. He tried to circle circled the offense around him.
Yeah.
Another. Go. You still gonna ask because it's not.
Nah, I was just saying he wasn't ready for it. Like he wasn't ready to be that top target.
Yeah, Ash Money, your mic is real low. Thank you, Authentic. But Authentic's making some good. What's up, Benny? Authentic's making some good points here. Evan Ingram has had 200 plus receptions in 4 seasons. That's 50 catches a season and 13 TDs in 4 seasons, which is around about average for a tight end, around 3 touchdowns. But last year, he was totally used incorrectly. He is not an inline tight end. He is not a tight end that you put on the line and let him run a route off the line or do like a little curl or anything. That's not his game. His game is what the catch that you saw against Washington, the catch that you saw against the Bengals, the catch that you saw make against the Buccaneers when he's going down the sideline one-on-one with a safety or a linebacker. That's what you use him for.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's what I believe he was used to. He's never been used to being the main guy. And so I believe that got in his head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's had to come out there on the field knowing that he's going to be the target every time. And that's just not his game. Am I making excuses for him? No. There was no excuse for what he did last year.
No.
You're tight end in the NFL. You're paid to catch the ball. Catch the damn ball. The passes that he was dropping, he was wide open on most of them. A couple of them, he might have got hit as soon as he touched it, but if you throw that to a good tight end, they catch that ball and just get hit and go down. They don't tip it up in the air and let it get intercepted.
Yep. I'll never forget the.
I still have no idea how he dropped that ball that Daniel Jones threw to him in that Eagles game. My God.
I'll never forget the play against Cincinnati where Von Bell literally just tapped him and the ball just fell out of his hand. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a good play. That was a good play, though. He put his hand right there where the ball was, and he knocked it out. But I know Joe want to say something real fast. Go ahead, Joe.
That's all right. I'll jump in there sooner or later. All right. So that I don't misunderstand anybody, we've had Evan Ingram for 4 years, and his first year was his best, and he's been declining since, or has just not lived up to expectations. What is it that exactly you're saying? Because it's only year 2 of Daniel Jones going on 3, and everybody's ready to kick him out the door.
Okay, Joe, you've watched the league for probably since most of this panel was born. Quarterbacks are judged way faster than any other position on the field.
Right.
Maybe cornerback can be almost as fast as far as the outside corner. But quarterbacks are judged way harder than any other position.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive lineman is kind of up there as well, but you get way more of a chance at offensive linemen. Receivers and tight ends, you got to give them about 2 to 3 years, to 4 years, sometimes even 5. Look at Nelson Aguilar. He hasn't been doing anything. Now it's his 6th year. He's just starting to come into his own. Quarterbacks,
he's a drop machine still, though.
Yeah. Quarterbacks in this league now, they want you to be an instant superstar when you come in. Let's just say what it is.
Yeah.
They want you to be an instant superstar when you come in. He was drafted number 6 overall. The days of like the Aaron Rodgers, just sitting behind somebody and learning. Patrick Mahomes was an anomaly because they had Alex Smith, and Alex Smith was just good enough to hold him on the bench.
The problem is people think a Patrick Mahomes development is a normal quarterback development. It's not.
I get what you're saying, Pat, and I understand quarterbacks are held to a higher standard and they need a faster success rate. But this is Ingram's 5th year.
Yeah.
All right. If he went year 1, great. Year 2, drop off. Year 3, injury. But year 4, get back up there to great. But we didn't see that. He's been injured. Last year was his first full year, right? Without an injury, he played all 16 games.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we're already worried about Daniel Jones being a injury away. We're worried about Shepard being an injury away. To me, Ingram's in that same boat. I've given him 4 years. I put him in the spotlight last year. You know what? If you want to be the man, you got to be the man in the moment.
Yep.
He had his moment. They were giving it to him. They were showing him opportunities. They were showing him love. They believed in him. They showed him that. He had all the faith and all the confidence in the world. But if he hasn't got that yet by year 4, with a staff that absolutely adores him, I can't go into year 5 hoping that he's going to turn it around because he hasn't yet.
Yep.
Go. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Ash. I'm gonna let you go. I understand exactly where you're coming from, Joe. It's a difference. It's a little bit different with Evan Ingram because he hasn't been used the way that he's supposed to been used basically since his rookie season. The injuries and the drops, I understand you completely, and you're absolutely right. This guy's had 4 years.
Yeah.
But when you're not used correctly, that's like, let me say with the San Antonio Spurs with the center, Aldridge. They play Aldridge at center knowing that he's a power forward.
Exactly.
And he wasn't playing up to his ability because they had him at center. He's a slender built guy, and he's built to be played at power forward. And Pop came out and apologized for playing him wrong. Now, am I saying that the coaching staffs have played him wrong and it's completely the coaching staff's fault? No. I say it's 75% Ingram's fault and 25% on the organization. Wrong and it's completely the coaching staff's fault. No. I say it's 75% Ingram's fault.
You got that playing in the background.
25% on the organization.
You gotta turn it off.
Somebody got the. I say it's 75%. There you go. But yeah,
I did want to highlight about Authentic's comment where he said that he tries to catch like a wide receiver, and that's why I like that we have Kyle Rudolph, because I think he can teach him how to catch a tight end. I mean, Kyle Rudolph is like one of the best when it comes to like dealing with catching. I mean,
he hasn't dropped in 2 years.
Exactly, he does not drop. He's a great red zone threat. He's really everything that Ingram isn't right now, like a lot of it. So
one at a time, guys.
Yeah, one at a time.
Ash Buddy, you had something you wanted to?
Benny.
What?
Go ahead, Benny.
I was just saying I think Kyle Rudolph can teach him a lot, honestly.
Yeah. Shout out to G Nation, the co-host in the building. What's going on, brother? But Benny makes a good point. Yeah, I can hear you now.
You're good.
Benny, you make a good point with the Kyle Rudolph thing, but Kyle Rudolph's a different beast from Evan Ingram. He's bigger, he's taller, has bigger hands, a bigger wingspan. I believe Evan Ingram he does catch the ball very awkward. Exactly what Authentic says. If he learns how to, he tries to catch it with his hands, but always lets it get to his body. I don't understand that. But our coaching staff, we have to use him correctly this year. We have no excuse not to use him correctly this year.
Exactly.
If he's used correctly and he catches that ball, that dude could be a dynamite player in this league. Like
if he catches the ball, he's
one of the top tight ends in the league.
If he catches the ball, he could literally be the best tight end in the league, and that's not even a joke.
Like, honestly, I like
just how
he. You go, big Leslie.
Yeah, you can.
That's a whole lot of ifs.
He said what?
That's a whole lot of ifs.
I want to see them use him more on like mismatches, instead of like really mishandling his mismatch by using him and trying to like get him to like go testing catches. I would say try to make him, run, use his speed. Like I'm talking about, like going around, like doing like almost like a slant, like those type of routes, getting across the field. There are corners that are going to be able to cover him because there are some very good coverage linebackers, but not corners, linebackers. But a lot of linebackers are not going to be able to cover him. And if we do get the best coverage linebacker on the team onto him, if they have a good coverage linebacker, that could also open up opportunities for. I want
to see Ingram on a 10-yard out on a flood concept.
Say what?
I said I wanted to see. I always want to see Evan Ingram on a 10-yard out on a flood concept.
I want to see Evan Ingram on another team.
Exactly.
Look,
it's another thing that we always.
And I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to poop on the man, but you've been in the league 5 years. 5 years. This is not your rookie season. This is not your second season. You've been in the league for 5 years. You still can't block, and now you can't catch.
Okay. I don't know if you were tuned in earlier, Lou, but G Nation, but I will say this to his defense. He hasn't been used correctly since he's been here in New York.
Pat,
besides his rookie year.
You ever see a show called Mike Too Nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might need to start that show. Pat Too Nice.
I don't care if he's on this roster or not. I hope we are able to trade him and get something for him.
Here's the thing: our coaching staff and Dave Gettleman, they love him. I don't see him getting off this team, so I figure we might as well see if maybe there's a way he can be turned into something good.
No, I mean, look, the guy has athletic abilities. He has natural raw talent. He has all the intangibles, the things that you look for. I literally thought that he was going to be like the next Tony Gonzalez.
I thought Vernon Davis
hasn't really turned out to be that. Now don't get me wrong. He can still learn. He can still be coached up. He can still develop. But I mean, it's just taking too long. With all the losses, with all the problems, with all the stuff that we've had to go through as Giants fans, it's taken long enough. And now I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. He's in the same position as Daniel Jones to me. If he drops 5 passes this year, I want him out of here. If Daniel Jones throws 20 interceptions, I want him out of here.
Okay, well,
it's just a matter of like the technique and like conviction between Ingram and the coaching staff. Like
the problem and the technique is one thing, but that can be coached up. But now 5 seasons into it, if we coaching you up for 5 seasons and you still haven't improved in that same area, then my man ain't enough coaching for you in that area.
The problem with Evan Ingram is he tries to catch with his chest and stomach a lot. He never does the correct catching technique.
You're supposed to catch with your hands.
It's like you're supposed to make a diamond like that.
Okay, I don't understand this use. I don't understand this used correctly because the guy got open. The guy ran his routes. He was throwing the ball.
I didn't say he wasn't used correctly. I just said he can't catch the damn ball.
I know what you said, Lou, but I mean, other people have been defending him, and it's like used correctly. I mean,
whether you're used correctly or incorrectly, you still catch the ball with your hands.
Yeah.
So
he catches the ball like this. Yeah.
All right.
I'm with you, Lou. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Pat.
What's going on, Joe? I wanted you to argue with me, Joe.
No. Look. What I said is not to make an excuse for Evan Ingram. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not here to make excuses for players that are not producing. But I will tell you the fact that he has not been used correctly since his rookie year. His rookie year, he went off because he was used the way that he was supposed to be used. But that still doesn't knock the fact that you're not catching the ball when the ball is thrown to you. It still doesn't knock the fact that you're not running routes correctly the way you're supposed to run the routes. And it still doesn't.
I do agree with the statement that you made earlier that it's mental. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it is mental. You can look at him and tell it is mental.
But you need to get your mind right. It's been 5 seasons.
Exactly.
That's correct. You are a professional. Whatever's going on, I don't know what's going on with it because this Evan Ingram that I see now, this is not the Evan Ingram that I seen 3 years ago when he first stepped into the scene. When he was just drafted wrong, we shouldn't have drafted him, but he was a good player. Now it's getting to the point where you don't even trust him, and you can't have players like that on your team. Those players kill the vibe of your team and they kill the progression of your team. Talented players that don't live up to expectations kill your team because, like Authentic says, his drops overshadows his great plays. This dude could make a one-handed catch and then turn around and just pop it up in the air and let an interception happen.
Hey, pull up that good vibes comment.
He said, on this one, you don't give up on a weapon. He never blocked well in college. Judge will kick the tires to see how he can fit the circle and the hole versus a rectangle. Last year is a mulligan for everybody. I think Evan
What do you
Ingram's
think
problem
about
is that you don't give up on Evan Ingram. They
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
given
asking
up.
the panel, all the guys. What do you guys think about that?
All right, we're gonna start one by one because we've been cutting each other off a pretty good amount this stream, so that can get annoying a little bit. I don't want to have to mute some people, so we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna start. Let's start with Joel, and then we'll go around and get to Big Play Slay since he's an Eagles fan. He'll go last.
Poor guy.
Damn.
You know, I understand it, but there's an old saying in the NFL: talent gets you fired. He can have all the talent in the world. If he doesn't work out, then you're going to get fired. I don't see Judge doing that. Man, it's like, okay, don't give up on talent. Well, okay, let's look at the Browns. They drafted quarterbacks for 20 years, and they kept firing the quarterback and firing the coach, trading this guy, trading that guy. Every expert was saying that Manziel has talent. That oh my God, I can't even go off on the list of Browns that were there. But everyone said that when they drafted him, the kid had talent. Let's look at the Jets.
Johnny
Sam Darnold
football.
had all the talent in the world, but you have to step away. Miz, my guy.
What's going on, Miz?
Oh, it's doing that shit.
Good,
One
man.
second.
I'm all
I mean,
set.
Darnold. To your point, Darnold is a good
No, what's up?
quarterback. It's just that he was in the wrong system.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hey man, let's fill in Miz what we're talking about right now. I don't know if he was tuned in earlier. We're talking about should we give up on Evan Ingram even before the start of the season. Most people want Evan Ingram gone now. I want to take a wait and see approach with the guy. He's got his last year, so you might as well let him play out his last year. If he's causing us problems, I believe Joe Judge puts him on the bench this year. He has no choice. But Benny, let me get your thoughts on it next, Benny.
Hey man, I think that as you know, Evan Ingram, honestly, like here's the truth. I don't want him on a team right now, I'll be honest, because I just got so frustrated with him last year. But here's the truth to it. I don't think he gets off the team before the regular season starts. I absolutely doubt it just because they like him so much. Here's what I think I want to happen with him this year because I know he's going to make the team. I know he's going to be on the team for a fact. What I want to happen is I'll give him his playing time. You know, he'll lose a little bit definitely to what's his name, Rudolph. But he will get some playing time. And if he messes up multiple times, then he is riding the bench for the year. And it's a contract year, so by the way, so it doesn't matter. If he, you know, it will just be, and if a team's interesting, we'll trade him to another team. If not, then, you know, a contract will come up and then he'll be done off the team, honestly.
What you got for me, Nate?
Honestly, I'm tired of this. Honestly, Evan Ingram, you are a disgrace. I don't know how. And it was your fourth year. There's no excuses. Year. Daniel Jones probably will have a better catching year than you will ever have in your entire life. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
That is true, authentic. Go ahead, G.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now look, don't get me wrong. I do think he's gonna ball out this year. What's going on, Big Miz? I do think he's gonna ball out this year simply because there's so many other weapons around him that they're not gonna bracket him. So I do expect him to have a big year. But my thing is, with the inconsistencies that he's shown, is he worth signing to a big deal if he's gonna show up one season out of 3? You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the kid don't have talent. I'm just saying maybe the kid needs to mature. Maybe he needs it. Maybe it's going to take him getting cut or traded for him to rise up and wake up and be the type of player that he was drafted to be. Sometimes that's what it takes for some of these guys. Sometimes there's late bloomers. Sometimes there's guys who get it day one, you know, and then there's some guys that like Vernon Davis. He can't win with him. Can't coach him, can't play with him. You know, so I mean, sometimes it takes things like that for players to mature and make a life decision. So what I'm saying is, with the inconsistency that he showed us thus far, is it feasible for us to sign him to a big deal if right after he gets that big deal, he doesn't show up for 2 seasons and then has a breakout season 3 seasons later? That's not the type of player that we need. We need consistent players. Also, the Calvin Benjamin thing. Let's stay on topic. We'll talk about that next.
Okay. Go ahead, Logan.
Can't hear
He's
him.
muted.
Yeah, he's muted. That's all
Sorry,
right. I thought I was talking to Mike Singletary there for a minute.
I love Evan Ingram coming out of college. Like,
Okay, authentic.
he has all the talent in the world. I just feel like it's mental with him. I feel like he could be on another team. I think he just needs to change the scenery. I don't know though. I feel like what GNATION was saying. I'm not going to give him that
Somebody
big
got the
deal.
train playing.
I'm not going to give him that big deal if he can have a good season 1 out of 4 seasons. So I just don't see us re-signing him this year. I see us either sticking with Rudolph for a few more years or sticking with some other guys. I don't know. I just don't want him on the team anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you know about Mr. Ingram.
What is that?
It's TV.
Miz, is that your TV?
Yeah, we're
Miz?
getting some background noise.
Yeah, so I'm going another room. Hold on. Yeah, I'm lowering it because they're watching a movie.
Okay.
Sorry.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you know about Evan Ingram. I believe it's too late for him to get a big deal from the Giants,
Exactly.
regardless of what he does this year. The better he does, the more his trade value goes up for the Giants, I believe. If he's balling through like week 8, I believe we let him play out and maybe franchise him to see if we could get something for him. If not, then they probably let him walk. I believe his time in New York is done after this season. So that's why I'm not so worried about him being on the roster this year. If he balls out, hey, that's great for us. That means he's getting stats out there on the field. DJ's looking better.
Sorry, hold on. Authentic. I didn't say he got cut. I was just saying sometimes it takes things like that, like a player getting cut or a player getting traded or, a player getting a verbal lashing at the podium like Mike Singletary gave Vernon Davis. I know he wasn't cut.
Damn.
But
honestly,
yeah.
If Ingram was like playing good, I would even if he's playing good through week 8, if his value is high, I honestly would definitely not mind trading him, and I would be definitely looking for a trade because I don't know if I trust signing him to a big deal. And if we can get something good, like I'm talking a second round pick, maybe a decent player, and if a guy like Kyle Rudolph is healthy and is playing decent, or Olivine Tuilolo or Caden Smith or whoever, Kelvin Benjamin, if you got some tight ends in there that you think are decent players, then I would definitely not mind trading Ingram during the season.
I mean, but if he got good chemistry, Benny, with Daniel Jones going throughout the season and we're winning, I wouldn't trade him. I would let him keep going.
I would.
Why would you trade him if he's one of the biggest ballers on the team?
But then, are you planning on paying him? Is the question.
You don't have
I'm
to
not
pay
going
him.
to do that.
You don't have to pay him. Why?
So you want to let him? I mean, I guess you could say you let him play the year and then just let him walk. But like,
in most cases, you would do that. But in this case, when you have a quarterback that you want to get confident, what's worse than taking away his best weapon if Evan Ingram is his best weapon in the middle of the season?
Because
you want to get a draft pick for him.
For all you know, he can be good this year, and then in another year he's horrible again. So I just don't trust him.
No, I don't know. I don't know, but he's still got talent though. But he has to catch the ball. That's the only thing.
Hey, fellas, once again, one at a time, fellas.
I'm talking if he's playing decent. Like, I'm not talking if he's playing as our best receiver. Like, say, we have a couple guys playing better than him, and he's playing decent, but he's not really that important. I would definitely be willing to trade him.
Yeah, there's a difference between him just playing decent and he's getting he got a touchdown or two. But if he's leading the team in reception yards, touchdowns, and Daniel Jones feels comfortable throwing to him, I don't know why you would trade him.
No, don't get me wrong. Now, if he becomes Daniel
Adams.
Jones's blanket, like Jason Witten was for Tony Romo. If he becomes a Gronkowski for Daniel Jones, if he becomes the safety blanket, then of course you don't trade a guy like that. But what I'm saying is, so far he's been inconsistent at the very least. So I wouldn't sign him to a big deal. I would maybe franchise tag him if he balls out this year, and then see how he plays under the franchise tag, and then we can come back to the table. But I don't say that he balls out this year and we sign him to a big deal. That would be foolish because he's been inconsistent.
He's not getting a big deal regardless, guys. I don't know if you know that or not. He's not. He's the type of player
because he hasn't earned it.
I like that hoodie.
He's the type of player like an Albert Hainsworth when he got his big deal because he had one good year, and then he got his big deal from Washington. That's stupid. You don't. Not after the year he just came off of. He has to prove it. What's going on, Adam?
But we've been beating him up all year for being brother.
How you guys doing?
What's going on, Adam? So, sorry, Pat.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on the Kelvin Benjamin subject because for me, if he's gonna be a guy for just red zone packages, then I'm all for it. If he's gonna play tight end in the red zone, along with Galladay and Rudolph and Kadarius Toney and all them guys out on the field in the red zone, then he's a big body target and he's a threat. But as a every play type of guy, I don't see it. The guy has weight issues, which means he has discipline issues. I know that Dave Gettleman drafted him and he's a Dave Gettleman guy, but I mean, do you guys really see him as a Joe Judge guy, or do you think that it was forced on?
Joe Judge loves Evan Ingram, I think.
I'm not talking about
No,
Evan
he's
Ingram.
talking about Kelvin Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin. Sorry.
My only go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that Calvin intriguing skill set if he's going to play tight end. If you're looking at the roster right now, they have a spot. The fourth tight end spot is up for grabs. If you look at it, you have Kyle Rudolph and Caden Smith, both your blocking tight ends. You have Evan Ingram and Levine Toilolo. You can easily slide in Calvin Benjamin behind Levine Toilolo. Now, you might ask yourself, well, if Evan Ingram can play tight end, why can't he play receiver? Well, the difference between moving from receiver to tight end is totally different than moving from tight end to receiver. Mm-hmm. So to bring in Calvin Benjamin and have him have a little bit more foot speed on the seam routes, I think would be good. And plus, he does something that Evan Ingram can't do. He catches the football, So I would like to have a guy like that in the red zone, 6'5", throw the ball up. Mm-hmm. Down the. I mean,
definitely as a tight end and in the red zone, yes. But I mean, I don't see him playing tight end every play, like full game. No.
Well, it's situational, right? If they bring in somebody who's slow, right, and you match up with him. I mean, this team's about matchups. Every week is
now if he's playing against a linebacker on the 16-yard line in the red zone, all day.
Right. So I mean, we'll see. Let's let him get to camp. I mean, for all we know, he might eat a cheeseburger and be out off the team before camp.
Popeye's biscuit.
So.
Right.
I mean, here's a take. I honestly think that Caden Smith, I think Benjamin I think there's a good chance he wins it over Caden Smith. Because Joe Judge, you know him, he loves versatility. He doesn't seem to like Caden Smith at all, honestly. Oh, I mean, I was actually kind of surprised. I thought they were going to love Caden Smith because he's kind of like, he's almost like, he's more of a Jason Witten type of player, I feel like, than a guy like Kelvin Benjamin, like who worked, Jason Witten obviously worked with Jason Garrett. But I think Joe Judge will value the versatility of Kelvin Benjamin. I think it's something that he brings something new to the team, and I honestly, it's a good chance. I think he wins it over Smith. But
I would like to say something real fast. Shout out to Authentic and Good Vibes. They're having a flat out debate in the comments.
Yes, they are. I've been reading
They're going back to back over there. But
y'all want to call in and have the debate?
I was wondering.
Right.
I was wondering if they say Benjamin's a real good blocker, so I'm thinking maybe down around the goal line area they use him as a fullback.
They could do that as well.
No.
Wait, is he too big, like too tall, or no?
No.
He's not
You don't
too
put that guy at fullback. He doesn't put his hand in the dirt. Come on now, man.
No.
You know
Oh,
better.
I'm talking about let him come out
Judge will
the back
teach him
as a
if he
receiver,
wants to.
though.
You
Judge
guys
will
ain't
teach him
moving.
if he wants
You guys ain't moving Lemieux from fullback. I'm sorry, that's not happening.
I
That's
love
my
Lemieux.
guy.
I always joke about that, but I can actually picture Shane Lemieux as a fullback, and I'm not joking.
Now I love Elijah Penny.
Another thing
Elijah
that
Penny
crossed
got
my
cut.
mind.
Yeah, I like Elijah Penny too.
Penny got cut.
Another
Wait,
thing
he did?
crossed my mind
Yeah,
by
Penny
bringing
got cut?
Benjamin in.
Mhm.
Maybe there's a
Appreciate you
chance that
popping in,
Rudolph
man.
is not right, and maybe they don't
Wait, is
know if
that
he's
for
going to
real?
be healthy for the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we have a new fullback.
Wait, did Elijah Penny actually get cut?
Yeah, we have a new fullback named Gillespie or something.
Oh, that
He
guy. I
came from
remember.
the Texans.
I think
Yeah,
they're
that's
both
a
on the
fullback
Right.
from the
He's
Texans,
decent.
but
He's decent, but I like the Elijah Penny.
The rugby player.
Oh no, he's still on
yeah.
the Giants actually.
I told
Elijah,
you. I knew it.
but he's
Hey,
gonna
Get
get
him,
cut now.
Benny.
Yo, but I believe they brought Benjamin here to compete with Caden Smith. No, I do not believe he's a Joe Judge pick.
Well, you like
I
Levine
believe that-
Tololo?
Huh?
Thank you, guys.
Levine Tololo did nothing last year. So
They brought-
Caden
he's a
Smith, who has
blocker.
more potential. You're going to get rid of Benjamin for him. I just don't understand.
Hold on. Let me get to the point why I say they did that. Kelvin Benjamin was not a Joe Judge pick. I believe he made a call to Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman said, "Okay, kid, let me see what you got." He called Joe Judge up. He said, "Hey, look, I got my draft pick that I brought into Carolina. He was pretty good. I want to see what he got." Joe Judge, okay, let's see what he got. But there's no guarantee he's going to be on my roster. Joe Judge, okay, that's how they talk. He came in there, and I think he impressed Joe Judge a little bit.
Oh
From
no,
his
no,
work ethic?
I don't think he was given a spot just because. I think he
No,
earned
no,
his contract
yeah,
onto the
yeah,
team.
he earned it. He
I'm
went
just
out there.
saying, do you think that he's going to be like a full game type of guy,
No.
or a package guy,
He's
or
a package
gimmick
guy. He's a package guy. He
Well, my
came
question-
in,
Unless
he
he works
showed-
himself back into good shape, then maybe he
Yeah,
will get a lot of playing time as the year goes on.
But my
That's
question
where I'm
is,
headed
Yeah,
to.
because he
replace
hasn't
him?
played.
That's
since
where I'm headed
2018.
to. That's where I'm headed to. He came in, he showed he was 245 pounds. He's still the fat receiver if you wanted him to play receiver.
Bro, stop.
But he's not playing the receiver, he's playing tight end.
You can't say that stuff in the cancel culture, man. You'll get our channel shut down.
Man,
Cancel culture.
look, he showed Joe Judge that he can run. He showed that his conditioning was pretty decent. And Joe Judge said, okay, we'll sign him. But these OTAs in this mini camp, they are going to run the absolute hell out of Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
And if he shows up and proves that he's conditioned and he
if he
can
earns
play
it.
on the NFL field, I believe they put him in those 3 preseason games, him and Caden Smith, and they're going to let them fight it out for that last tight end roster spot.
Yeah.
You're not getting rid of Toy Lolo because you restructured his deal. You're not getting rid of Rudolph, and you're not getting rid of Ingram.
Really?
So the only tight end he can compete with is Caden Smith.
I'm
We all know on this panel, Caden Smith is not a Joe Judge guy. He proved that last year when he didn't play him.
You know, what do you guys think about Corey Clement, by the way?
Solid.
I think he could compete against Gary Brightwell for that third running back spot, honestly.
He's like a Deion Lewis type of type.
Yeah, he's a good receiving back.
Well, he's 220 pounds. Deion Lewis was 195 pounds. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the way they play is like similar.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a preseason battle as well. I'm hoping Gary Brightwell wins out because I want to see the kid beat an Eagle out.
I knew it, Pat.
Hilarious.
I knew it. It was hard to watch his highlights the other day.
That
You
would
guys
be absolutely hilarious.
Do you guys remember in the Cardinals game when Deion Lewis got kicked in the stomach and the ball popped out?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
but-
that.
But
You can't carry all 3 of them.
I believe we could carry all 3. I think we could carry all 4 of them if they wanted to. Don't we have 2 extra roster spots?
We like to carry.
Listen,
carry
man,
fullbacks, so
they're
I
not
doubt we
gonna-
carry 4 running backs.
Go ahead, Gunny.
I was saying I doubt we carry 4 running backs because we normally like to carry a fullback with them, unless you plan on having one of them be able to play fullback. So I would say it's most likely to probably carry 3 running backs and 1 fullback, but we'll see.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's almost definite that you're not gonna see Barkley get a full load the first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season. They're gonna work all 3 of them.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
they're going
think.
to go baby steps with Barkley.
Yeah, I don't think Barkley gets over 15 carries until about week 3, week 4.
It's
Yeah, the
rumored.
first couple of games.
I read on Twitter. It's still unclear if Saquon's even going to be back for week 1.
I think
He'll be back week 1. I heard that
Yeah,
today.
he'll
And
be back. Yeah,
that's a
he'll be
bullshit
back week
story,
1.
man. That's another bullshit story.
That's to keep people interested. He'll be back by week 1.
That's true.
Goddamn clickbait.
Well, do you guys think that Joe Judge brought him, that dude from the running back from Philly? You think Joe Judge brought him in case a running back gets injured?
Yeah,
Joe Judge brought him in because he's a man of competition.
90
I'm gonna
players
tell you
to get
that
on the
now.
roster.
He brought him in competition with Gary Brightwell to see who's going to be that third down back that receives out the backfield when we want to give Saquon Barkley a rest.
Nope. We gave Devontae Booker a 2-year, $6 million deal.
Yeah, but you have 90 roster spots. No, it's not going to hurt to bring him on now and get a look at him in training camp.
Oh yeah.
Worst case scenario, you got a guy who knows your offense. If you got a guy injured, best case he makes your team and he's a player for you. I don't know.
We can also carry one of those running backs on like the practice squad or something.
Yeah.
So if ever like Saquon or Booker or any of them get injured or something, then you can just put them up in the practice squad. I mean, we've done that in past years. Like, didn't we do that? Did we do that last year, or was it the year before with like John Hillman or something like that, or something? I forget. We've done that in past years with the running backs and stuff.
Practice squad is cool. That was the only one that's probably eligible is Brightwell, and you gotta make that decision as a roster spot to say, do I lose him to another team? You know?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I was just going to say that because if they're on the practice squad, another team can sign them to their team. They have to be eligible for game day, but they can still snag the guy off of our practice squad if they're not protected like they did last year in COVID.
Yep.
So you have to be careful about putting guys on the practice squad.
Yeah.
If you want them on your roster, you put them on a roster because you can always lose them on the practice squad.
Or you IR them with a phantom injury like Victor Cruz in 2010. So.
That was genius. Yep. That was genius.
But let me say this. Authentic makes a good point here. Barkley should never have over 15 carries. I've been preaching he shouldn't be an every down back. He should be like Alvin Kamara. I agree with you a little bit, and then I disagree with you a little bit as well because I believe Saquon Barkley is a way better version of Alvin Kamara than Alvin Kamara.
Way better version. Way better.
I say 18 to 20 touches, not necessarily carries, but touches a game. He needs
18. 18. I think you need to get that ball in that man's hands at least 18 times.
He's way better of a pure running back than Alvin Kamara will ever be.
It all depends, man. It all depends. It all depends on the game, the week, the situation, how desperate the team is.
I will tell you this. If you notice all the running backs, they all can run screen play. Every one of their highlights, all of those big backs are catching screen passes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're starting to, build their offense around some screens and dinks and dunks to get the ball out for Daniel Jones. It's kind of interesting when you're watching the roster creation.
Yeah, he is right about that.
I agree with Authentic. He does have one thing over Saquon Barkley, which is health. That's because they use him in such a way where he barely gets hit. So I understand where he's coming from.
I think we could just like what they do with Kamara, except just like more running and more like a little bit more. But I can see where he's like coming from, or something kind of like that, where we use other guys a little bit in there to help.
Alvin Kamara is an elite scat back.
Yeah, and our offense isn't built like how the Saints' offense isn't.
That's why I'm saying you basically do what you're doing with Alvin Kamara, except you kind of change the style of it. I don't know.
Dude, it's total different football games, man. The Saints play in a dome. They play a fast-paced football. The Giants play in the Northeast where it's freezing cold and windy half the season, all right? You can't just line up 4 or 5 guys and play John Madden football, okay?
No, we gotta grind it out.
Yeah, we're a different type team and we're a different type environment, man. We're outdoors. The reason why Kamara can do that because they're not outdoors. They're in the dome.
Hold up. Let Miz explain. Let the quarterback explain it. Break it down, Miz.
Oh, that's about it. You know, Lou, it's really, man, we play in the Northeast. It's going to rain. It's going to snow. It's always windy in the swamps. Always.
For you
The
guys
dome,
that
they don't
don't
have
know,
that in the dome, man.
for you guys that
Thank
don't
you.
know, we have an actual quarterback in the live stream
Super
on
quarterback.
the bottom left cube over there. Big Miz in the house.
Yeah.
Now I will tell Authentic this. If Devin Booker proves to be the type of back that he is, I wouldn't mind running a 2-back system with him
Exactly.
and Saquon.
I would-
At least
that
for
could-
at least for the regular season, just to keep
Because-
Saquon a little healthy.
Our Super Bowl
We'll see in the
teams,
preseason.
our Super Bowl teams, we had that 2-back system with Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs. We've always been successful with those 2-back type systems. The only time we really got away from is when we had Tiki.
Now, a
Because
lot of
Tiki
people
was
keep
a monster.
Tiki was
comparing
good.
Kadarius Toney to Kamara.
Mhm.
But I
That's the
don't want to play him.
comparison I keep hearing a lot.
But I don't want to play him there. The only reason I don't want to play him there is because his eyesight is built for a receiver, right? Yeah, he can run in the backfield, but that guy's not meant for,
Right, he's not a
doing
full-time
the running back stuff.
Right.
I will tell you this: I'm a Florida fan. He was a running back for 3 seasons before he became a receiver. He was a running back.
Oh wow.
That's
I
why
actually-
he runs the
I
way he
actually like
runs.
this
Slash
kid we
receiver,
drafted.
because I seen him play a little bit of receiver.
I actually like this running back we drafted because I think he's going to come in here hungry with a.
I love Jerry Brightwell.
He's for
But
grouping
he-
over my knees.
He's a
That's
type
why.
Yeah,
of
man.
player. He's a type of player like Debo Samuel, wide receiver screens and all that.
Oh yeah.
And he's a little bit more elusive than Booker is as well. So
Let me ask you a question. What happened with is Alfred Morris just like finished? Because he kind of played pretty good, strong for us.
He's
I
on the
think he
couch
was-
somewhere.
I think he retired actually.
Where is he, Adam?
He's on the couch, sitting, eating
So
chips.
he's finished really. So all right.
Yeah,
You know his dad played for us.
He'll be somebody's emergency back again.
You
Adam
know
is,
that, right? His
Adam
dad
is-
played for us.
Adam is
No,
right.
I
He's
know one
really
thing.
on
He
the-
ran hard against Seattle, man. He carried that game, man.
Yeah,
his father,
Alfred-
Joe Morris. Joe Morris played. Joe Morris was his father. He played for us.
Joe
Adam is
Morris was
right.
Alfred's father?
Wait, actually?
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't know that. I never knew that. Oh,
Yes, sir.
I ain't
Adam
know
is,
that. That's pretty
Adam
cool.
is right. He's a free agent eating flaming hot Doritos right now.
Say what?
Yeah, well, guess what?
I said-
Benjamin's eating the same shit, and he's sitting on our field. So how about
I
that?
know my stuff, man. Not to toot my own horn, but you know.
Okay, well, that's probably why he came and played for us then.
No, I
No,
didn't even know
Dad
that. I
played
didn't know
for
that.
What's going on, Mike?
I didn't know that.
Adam is right though. He's on the couch eating Cheetos right now. Alfred Morris.
What's wrong with eating Cheetos
Let's
sitting on the couch?
get to that though. Let's get to that. Is Saquon Barkley a heavy workload type running back?
I believe so.
Like,
I
that's
think
a
You
real-
should
that's
never
a real-
just have one running back. for
That's
any
a real
team.
issue.
I
That's
mean,
a
I wouldn't
real
advise
issue.
any team to do that.
The question is, has he improved in the blocking game on third downs? Because that's where his weakness is. And if he can't stay on the field to block, then I don't need him. I can use Devontae Booker and Corey Clement in that role. So that therein lies another problem that you have. And I know someone will say, well, line them up wide, but that's not – you can't just line them up wide on first down. You know, like you got to disguise your offense. I don't know. It's hard to
Gary
tell.
Brightwell is a very good blocker actually.
Oh, listen to the Miz, okay? Nah, I'm trying. Listen, Barkley Barkley will come back off this injury. They will mix him up the first half of the season with the other backs, and when we get to December and the Giants are fighting for the division, Barkley will start to take on the full load. You remember I said that.
Exactly. That's what I've
Barring any major setback to his knee, of course.
Go ahead, Joe.
I want the guy that's having the best game out there playing. I mean, Barkley's dynamite, okay, but right now, like Adam said, he's a 2-down back. He's first and second down back because you can throw a post, you can run him up the middle, you can bounce him outside, you could be your cutoff guy, you know, swing passes if the receivers are all covered. I mean, that's basically what I expect Barkley to be right now. Coming off that injury, it's man, As far as him being a 3-down back, I don't see it because his blocking he's built so solid and low to the ground. You got to be taking these linemen and just blowing them up.
Zeke, is that you?
Blowing his nose?
Yeah, can't be blowing your nose in the mic, bro.
No, but Joe, one thing, Joe, I think you will see
I thought I
as the
muted my
season
mic. My
goes
bad,
on.
yo.
As the
My
season
bad.
goes on, you will see Barkley become a little more of a bull. Instead of dancing and trying to get the long home run, you're going to see him hit the holes for those hard 3-4 yard run over people. You're going to see more of that out of Barkley this year.
I hope so. I mean,
I hope so as well.
Yeah, me too.
The thing that annoys me is he's 230-pound back. He should be knocking guys out, pancaking
Exactly.
them when it comes to blitz pickup. But you're not.
Brightwell
barely
could be like
throws
a
a shoulder
Wayne
in.
Gallman type of player, though.
Hold on, Zeke.
I can't have
Zeke. Hold on, Zeke. Let him finish his point, bro.
I can't have a 230-pound back giving a shoulder shiver and then running out to the side. I need you to stick your foot in the ground and knock somebody out.
Boom.
At 230.
Yeah, I think you will see that, Adam, under Judge. I think they will work on that.
If he ran the same way he blocked, I'd love it.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead, Zeke.
You think Brightwell could be like a Wayne Gallman type of guy, like he's gonna get 3-4 yards?
There you go.
But
good God. Sorry. I've been trying to find you for a long time, Joe. Got you.
Okay.
But you guys think that he's like but you guys think Brightwell's like a Wayne Gallman type of player pushing? Like,
I think Gary Brightwell. I think Gary Brightwell is going to be on the team. He may get some special teams snaps. He may get some third down snaps at running back when in a 4 receiver set where we got a 4 wide and we want to run it back there to block because I don't think Saquon is a good blocker yet. I just don't think he's developed that yet. He should be, but he hasn't. So
what are we waiting for?
Huh?
What are we waiting for? I mean, this is gonna be like his 4th season. He's got to. If he can't do it by now,
but it's not his 4th season, Adam. It's not his 4th season, man. It's not.
Yeah, it is.
What,
Dude,
2018,
the guy missed the whole
2019?
last year, man. Come on now.
First
year and a half, he was with a different head coach, so he hasn't even had a real chance with Judge.
But this has nothing to do with his blocking skills.
No, I know.
I mean, he had Brian Burns as his coach. I mean, I want to see a guy. I'm not trying to be critical. I want to keep the guy. I love Barkley. But my problem is that when I see him and my quarterback who holds the ball too long sometimes needs some help, I need to know that the guy behind me, 26, is going to make that block.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have him dancing around.
Like he's not some
stick that guy at 230.
He's not
I think Saquon Barkley's a good blocker though.
He's got to pick up the blitzes.
Not.
That's what Adam's saying. He's got to pick up those blitzes. He wasn't doing good with that 2 years ago.
He's not some small little David Meggett running back. He's a big dude. I know he can do it. He just got to work on it.
Go ahead, Joe.
Can you highlight Rick's comment for me, Rick Gill? The age range of this live stream is 4 generations. No, buddy, I'm only 51. I'll be 52 in June. All right, no way that this is my great grandchild. Okay, no, that's not happening.
Joel doesn't even look like 47, my guy. What are you saying?
Right.
I like this comment by Good Vibes. He says, Adam, we can't change who he's been his whole career. No different than Evan Ingram. They have to play to God's strength, like Joe Judge says. Don't tell me what you can't do. Let's work with what you can.
But if his strength is to be on the field and they come with a blitz on first down and he can't block anybody, then that's not my problem. Okay, Evan Ingram is totally different because Evan Ingram, they knew he couldn't block and they tried to throw him in there to block. And it's not my fault he can't catch. He decided his hands wanted to take the 2020 season off because of COVID. That's not my problem. Okay, my problem is when you have a guy who's 230 pounds and he's supposed to protect your franchise quarterback, and you're going to tell me, well, his strengths are this. Well, then he can't be on the field. Then he can't be on the field. Okay, because your job as a running back is not only to run the football and catch passes, but it's also to block in the run game.
Mike Hunt's got something going on in the chat. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, but we definitely have a lot more. I do have a lot more faith in Barkley starting to get better at those things than like everyone says about Ingram. Like he's not.
Yeah.
Barkley will grow more.
Yeah.
There's more chance Barkley grows into a full-rounded star than Ingram. Well, like you said, he might not even be here the whole year, Ingram. So,
Like I have more faith in Saquon developing his game. Like all I think in a few years Evan Ingram will be is the owner of the Butterfinger Company.
I have to agree.
See, I don't agree with you guys there. So, no, I think Ingram's gonna be good, man. I really do. I think Ingram's gonna grow this year. I really do.
I could see it. I just.
I have to agree with Adam
that
though.
doesn't mean they won't trade him. They might trade. They might let him grow and then trade him and get a better value.
Get what you can from him. But I have to agree with Adam on the Saquon Barkley subject. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. I don't think the guy can be a third down back to block. So that's why I believe they're trying out these different backs on third down, just in case they want to bring somebody in to block, because that hinders your team a little bit, even though he's one of the most ultimate weapons you can get. If you know on third down that you bring that guy in and he's never going to block for the quarterback, that means you already know part of what the play is going to be. And so you're hindering yourself on offense. As great as Saquon Barkley is, do you pay a running back, because he's going to ask for $20 million? I don't know if you guys know that or not.
I don't think
ask
he
for
is.
$20 million plus.
Mm-mm.
Can you pay a guy $20 million plus that you can't trust on third downs and has had a riddle injury history?
Okay.
I want to get you guys' opinion on that. We're going to go one by one.
I
We're going
have
to go
to
one
go.
by one. We're going to start off with my co-host, Lou. Then we're going to go to Logan. And then we're going to go to Joe. We're going to go in that direction. So I want you guys' thoughts on that. Let me know. Let me know about that.
I'm gonna get some
Gotta
paper.
have to head out.
I'm gonna get some paper and write down some stuff.
Go ahead, Lou.
Deep breath. Oh, USA. USA.
So, God almighty. Okay. Now, you don't think that this whole time he's heard, he's been out for a whole season. So he heard all the knocks on him about not being able to block. He heard all the knocks on him about being injury prone. And I'm sure he's heard all the stuff about he might be washed. He might not come back from the injury. There's a big question mark about Saquon and then them picking up the 5th-year option. So he's heard all of these things. And I'm pretty sure the same way he worked on rehabbing and coming back stronger than ever, I'm pretty sure he worked on the blocking. And a man that size shouldn't have a problem blocking. It's not a weakness thing. I think it's a technique thing and a habit thing, because he was known to be the breakout star that's going to run. He wasn't called upon to block too much. Now in the NFL, they're going to have to coach him up and make him a full-rounded back. So I think with the time that he's been healing and rehabbing, that he probably worked on his blocking as well, and he has a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to come back and prove that he's worth whatever money he's going to demand. That's just my opinion.
So basically what you're saying is he's going to show and prove that he's going to be worth that contract coming up, because after this year, we've already picked up his 5th-year option, which is next year.
So he's got to show, I mean,
he's got to show improvement within the next 2 years. And the running back market is going to go up, because the TV contracts is going to determine that it's going to go up. And he's going to want to be the highest paid running back in the league. I know that for a fact.
If he earns it and he stays healthy and he can block, why not?
What is this dude Mike Hunt say? Logan fell for the trap?
Can't pay everybody, man. He's gonna want big money. And what if Jones has a big year? Then he's gonna get big money. How you paying everybody, man? Can't pay everybody.
Well, you can't pay everybody. There's a lot of people that's gonna be gone next year. We got a lot of deals with 1-year deals, and we got a lot of rookies and a lot of depth that in a year behind all of these guys, they should learn and play and next man up.
I believe.
Lou, I love you, Lou, and I love Barkley too. I'm not paying him $20 million a year. It's not happening. That's why the Patriots won so many Super Bowls, because they didn't fall for this type of trap.
That's true.
You pay this guy $20 million
I get it, Mike.
for a couple of years, we're gonna be screwed. You'll see.
I think you got to pay the staples of your franchise, though, Miz. Like,
so Miz, if he comes out this year and runs for 2,000 yards and blocks his tail off and has 10 touchdowns,
right?
You don't bring him back next year and sign him to a deal?
And I think he could have a monster year. Yeah, he's got a 5th-year option. We could be son of a bitches and make him play for $7 million. He's not going to sit out, but I won't do that. I'll rip up the contract and give him a new contract, but I'm not giving him $20 million a year. We're going to have to work here. We're trying to win a Super Bowl or be a contender for the next 5-6 years.
I don't think he'll demand 20 mil. You know,
Yeah,
he'll
it
probably
has to be a
he's
better
a
number
humble
than that.
kid. He's a humble kid. But I don't know. You know, agents play a big part of it, and whoever's in his ear and things of that nature. But I think he's gonna come back and have a big year, man. I'm rooting for the kid. You know, he's a Bronx native. I'm from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rooting for the kid. But you know, I just think he can do it. I think with his frame and with the technology and the way medicine is now, you know, Adrian Peterson was able to do it when he got injured and he was a little bit older. So I think Barkley should be able to come back and show improve, man. I think that he's heard all the stuff. He's watched all the film. He's had nothing to do but rehab and watch film and listen to all the stuff. So I think he comes back and he blocks and he shows that he's worth it.
Yo, Lou, I'm with you. I love Barkley to death. I take a lot of pride in us having Barkley. And I want him, he don't have to run over the league. I want to make a run and he goes nuts towards the end of the year. I could see it. And I want him here for his whole career. But we got to work on this. We can't give him 19 or 20 million a year. We can't do it.
No, we can't afford that.
What happens if Daniel Jones
say we
steps
like
up?
I'm part of the ownership, but you know.
You know what I mean? Because
I
you can't pay
Saquon
everybody.
should
You
come
pay
in.
Galladay this money. You pay this guy that money. What happens if Jones steps up now? You got to take care of your
Yeah,
quarterback.
but see, you know, Galladay might be a wash too. I mean, we haven't, you know, it's a lot of question marks with this team. Don't get me wrong, I'm optimistic and I'm hoping for the best, and I think that we can win the division. Yeah, but there's also a lot of question marks with this team too. You know, these guys haven't played together. Dory Jackson, him and Logan Ryan have some chemistry back on the Titans, but he hasn't played with this unit. You know, Kenny Galladay, John Ross, they haven't played with this unit. So hopefully the little, you know, workout that they put together in Arizona, they built some chemistry. Hopefully the guys in Florida right now are building some chemistry in the secondary. But these are all big ifs, you know. And as Giants fans, you know, we all want to cheer, we all want to clap and say, yeah, we got the dub. But you know, that we gotta see week 1, Denver. You know.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna let the OGs go first. And then we're gonna hit Benny and Logan on this subject. Go ahead, Joel.
Okay. Well, first of all, I got this, I don't know, desire to sing the Brady Bunch theme right now for some reason.
What?
All the windows.
Yes, yes. We got the maid Alice right there. You know, this is just a scenario, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if we sign Barkley, why did we pay him the money? If we let him go, well, why did we let him go? We should have paid him. Look what he's doing now. This is a lose-lose proposition for the Giants no matter what they do. Fans will not be happy one way or the other.
Listen, I hate the Dallas Cowboys just a little less than I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you remember when the Dallas Cowboys were making a big run consecutively, they had triplets.
Yes.
They had a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver. So you don't get rid of Barkley. And if Galladay turns out to be a great signing, you don't get rid of Galladay. And, of course, if Daniel Jones balls out, then you got to keep him. Those three, you have to pay. If they ball out and they show that they're worth their weight in salt, their weight in gold, or whatever adage you want to put on it, you know, you got to pay them.
A lot of people forget it though about that triplet thing. I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yeah, they had an amazing offensive line. They had me on defense. I mean,
I ain't talking about the defense. That offensive line made that thing go with Emmitt Smith. Yeah, I promise you that. The offensive line was just as a major part as Michael Irvin, Emmett, and Troy Aikman. Without that offensive line, that was a different team.
I think this
Even-
offensive line is young, and with the new center from the Gators and all the additions we made in the free agency, I think Joe Judge and Patrick Graham, I think them guys know what they're doing, man. And I think that now with the actual offseason, a mini camp, and the preseason, these guys are going to have time to gel together, find out who's who, what's what, learn how to switch off stunts and twists and all that. And this O-line going to come together, man.
Lou, because you brought up the Cowboys, I'm going to bring up the Vikings when they had Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how many rings did they win?
0.
No, they had some pretty good quarterback play. They had a damn good offensive line for a while, and they had Adrian Peterson, the number 1 running back in the NFL.
Who was their wide receiver?
In Minnesota, they had Moss.
When they had Adrian Peterson? No.
No,
They?
no, they didn't have Moss when they had Adrian Peterson.
Well, this is a lot.
Who was it that they had?
I believe they had
Nobody.
Matthew Hatchett at the end of his career. They had
They had no receivers. Adrian Peterson was the primary weapon. That's why they didn't get no. Stephon Diggs came after Adrian Peterson was gone.
Yeah, but they were winning, double-digit wins each year.
They didn't have a receiver.
Adrian Peterson literally put that team on his back. I'm gonna tell you that now.
But they had an okay passing game because of him. So they didn't have a superstar wide receiver, but they had
Bernard Berrien. That's what it was. They had Bernard
Adam
Berrien.
Thielen. What year did Adam Thielen get in Minnesota?
Yeah, but he didn't show. He didn't show up.
That was after.
Yeah.
But okay, they still had a good enough team where they were winning 10, 11, 12 games a year. They weren't no slouches.
Yeah.
So we don't, like you just said, though, we don't know if Galladay's going to be the top tier wide receiver that he could be. So
we don't even know if Daniel Jones is going to step up to the plate this year.
You're absolutely right. And I'm one of the biggest Daniel Jones lovers. But
what if Daniel Jones turns out to be a flop and Saquon carries this team to the playoffs and we don't make it because of Daniel Jones? Then we definitely sign Saquon and we take our 2 first-round picks and we move up and get a damn quarterback.
Okay, but
right, and yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta head out now.
Bro. Hey, look, that Vikings team also has Sidney Rice too.
That's true.
They had Rudolph in his prime.
Yeah, they had Rudolph, Sidney Rice, and Bernard Berrien.
Who was their quarterback?
Brett Favre at the time. It was Brett Favre, and then it went to Christian Ponder, and then it went to Sam Bradford.
Oh, listen, man, that's why they didn't win. Listen, you had a running back. You had one star player, a running back. Your quarterback was trash. You had mediocre receivers. That's why the Vikings didn't win.
They had Percy Harvin as well, and they brought in Greg Jennings at the end of his career. But the core with the Adrian Peterson that they had, Brett Favre kicked it off for like a year or two.
And then
it was Christian Ponder. But when they had Christian Ponder, they had a little bit of a squad, man. They had Percy Harvin, Sidney Rice, Bernard Berrien, Rudolph, Peterson, and Greg Jennings on one part.
Pat, you also said it before.
I got news for you
Christian
guys.
Ponder was the reason why they didn't have more success.
That
That
squad was 1-15 when Brett Favre came in, and then he took a play from the Super Bowl. So you say one name, Brett Favre. Brett Favre could take Logan, Joel, and Adam and win 10 games.
Me, man.
Here's the thing, though.
I was left bench.
You know it.
But I just want to make a quick point real quick. Okay. We talk about the triplets, yet the Giants had a running back by committee in their 2 Super Bowl runs. So you're telling me, I know you want to talk about triplets and all this stuff in 1995, which is decades ago.
Facts.
Teams haven't always won with triplets. I mean, look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Listen, I have no problem with the running back by committee. We won 2 Super Bowls doing that. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, don't just cast them aside. Is what I'm saying, because everybody's talking about like just getting rid of Barkley, rid of Barkley.
I mean, what they're saying is they don't want to pay him $20 million. They're not getting rid of him. We have to come to
$20 million. I want $20 million, but I feel.
I mean,
I don't want to get rid of him.
We got to look at it practically, right? And I'm sorry, Joel, I didn't mean to cut into your time.
You're fine.
But when you look at it, the longevity that he already has one bad tread. Right? Are you going to invest in a running back who you don't know is going to get better? I mean, he doesn't get faster as he get older. right?
Right.
And right now his running style doesn't show me that he's a power back yet. So until he develops some of these later moves that keep him a little bit more longevity in the league, I can't pay him that much money, especially when I'm going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay an edge rusher. You're probably going to have to pay a quarterback unless Daniel Jones sucks. So if Daniel Jones doesn't suck, we're probably not paying Barkley. If he does suck, well, great, we can give that $20 million to Barkley because obviously we're going to restart the quarterback position. So I'm not saying I wouldn't give him the money, but let's
Yeah, but I don't think he has a leg to stand on to demand 20 million after missing a season and being injured. Having a great rookie year, then a mediocre second year. I don't think that he has a leg to stand on to demand that. So I don't think that that's the route he's going to go. Plus, I think he's a much more humble kid. He likes the team that he's in, and I think he wants to play there. So I think he'll be willing, even if he balls out this year, to negotiate just to stay with the team.
Well, here's the thing that goes back to it's almost what you guys are talking about. Look, if Daniel Jones fails this year, and Barkley's 2,000 yards carrying this team, I'm going to trade him for a number 1 pick because now I got 3. And if Jones doesn't make it, we got to start over. So why keep Barkley on the team? Let him go somewhere where he has a chance to get a ring or whatever and get his money. And because he's not going to help us the next 3 years. We're rebuilding all over again. We're working with the team again. If I can get 3 first-round picks next year to go get a quarterback, and I'm not giving up next year's first round.
If you got all these pieces and all you need is a quarterback, that's not a rebuild. That's just a quarterback hunt.
I'm giving up my 2 first and the 3rd for Deshaun Watson.
Just Sean.
That
Thank
happens.
you.
No.
Oh, hold on. I
playing.
gotta say something. Hold on. Authentic. If you think Shanko's the reason Favre almost took to the Vikings to the Super Bowl, you better go have your head examined. That's all I gotta say.
No, he's saying that they had Shanko too. He was a weapon. Don't get it twisted. Shanko was a weapon over there in Minnesota during them times. If you was watching the Vikings, he was a pretty good tight end.
How come he wasn't a weapon without Favre? Huh, Pat?
Christian Ponder. A lot of people were weapons with Christian Ponder over there. After Favre left, Christian Ponder came. And that changed the whole dynamic of that team. People started focusing more on Adrian Peterson because he couldn't get it to Sidney Rice. He couldn't get it to Bernard Berry the way Favre could. Now, I'm not saying Vishanti Shanko was a great player. I mean, he was decent over there. Him and Rudolph were a decent combination over there.
Listen, Brett Favre's one of the greatest ever. That's it. One of the greatest.
No one's taking anything from Brett Favre. Brett Favre was the reason why the Vikings went to the.
All right, so maybe I misunderstood him.
Championship. Yeah.
If I misunderstood him, that's my bad.
No, he was saying that that he didn't inherit that bad of a team. That he inherited a 10-6 team from Gus Frerotte. Yeah.
So they were 10-6 the year before.
I'm gonna have to check it out. They went 6. I thought there was like 6-10 before he got there, but they may have went 10-6 with Gus Frerotte.
Who said they was 1-15?
Miz did.
Yeah, I did. I thought they were the year before Favre came there. They were awful. Or maybe it was 2 years before. Maybe it was 2 seasons before.
Yeah, it was 2 seasons because they were really close to coming, and that's why they went and got Favre from the Jets.
And he did what he always does: throw picks at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, he can throw whatever picks he wants. He won 3 MVPs. And if you go to any Packer fan today and ask them who they thought was better, 10 out of 10 will tell you Brett Favre.
They're going to tell you Brett Favre. Brett Favre was a good old boy, man. They loved Brett Favre. He was more lovable than Aaron Rodgers will ever be.
2008, the Vikings were 10-6.
So they were 10-6 before they got Brett Favre.
What are we talking about here?
So check them out what they were the year before that, because I know one of those years they were real bad.
Hey, yo,
the year before 2008.
I got broad shoulders.
Yeah, there was a year where they were horrible.
They went 8-8, 2007, and then let me see 2006.
It's not that bad, so maybe I'm wrong.
They went 6-10. They went 6-10, 2006.
When did Favre got there? 2008, right?
He got there 2009.
2009. So yeah, they weren't that bad of a team. They were pretty much a quarterback away, and he should have got them there. One for that stupid pass he threw in the NFC Championship game against the Saints. That was just ignorant. I don't know why he did that.
That's why I say though, trade Barkley's because of that. He's not going to help us and let the guy go and get his yards and money.
If you want to compare a tradable back, you say David Johnson because he was a good back that got injured, and then his team got rid of him, and now he's still trying to find a home in wherever he is, Houston or.
Talking about David Johnson played for the Cardinals.
Yeah, David Johnson.
Yeah, right? He was a good.
He had like a good couple years.
But what I'm saying is they got rid of him. They tried to build a team around him. He blew out his knee. I'm saying that he's not as the talent that Barkley is, but I'm just saying like these guys are not going to get. He's not going to net you a first round pick unless he goes bonkers. You know what I mean? And then you have to ask that team, well, why are we going to invest in a guy that has one bad leg?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. I guess you guys just went over it, and I missed it because I was reading what's his name in the chat. But let's say Barkley has a big year, a real good year. Would you trade him, and what would we get at the end of this season?
I'm gonna tell you, Joe already said his. He said trade him. The reason.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, my fault.
I have to think about that one, man, because it does make sense to trade him, and then it doesn't make a lot of sense to trade him. If I could get a first and maybe a future second and a third, maybe.
How about a player?
Yeah. What player are you trading them for?
I don't know. Maybe get a lineman back or something like that.
Offensive lineman.
Just saying. I'm just saying. If
you cannot trade a franchise running back for an offensive lineman.
I'm not saying straight up. That's not what I'm saying.
No, you get traded.
Unless it's Quentin. Let's be honest. Unless it's Quentin Nelson, you're not doing.
No, wait a minute. You're not going to get a first. You're not going to get a first round pick. But if you get a real solid, good offensive lineman in this
and a third round pick,
and you get a second or a third.
I'm saying go ahead, because I'm gonna get into it. But go ahead, Adam.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. My point is, if I'm going to trade him, I want to get more. I also want to get more back because I need something, right? I have a hole now that's missing. I don't want another running back, but the offensive line is bad. So if I can pull a player's solid offensive lineman off, like Kevin Zeitler, right, the Zeitler deal. If I can get another guard like Zeitler when I trade Barkley, then yes, I'm going to ask for that in the deal. Give me a first round pick and Kevin Zeitler, we got a deal. You know what I mean? That's what I need because I'm rebuilding something else. I'm not saying that I don't agree with trading him. I'm trying to get a player that might be of value as well back, not just a developmental draft pick I have to wait on.
If I'm trading Saquon Barkley, you're absolutely right, Ash. I have to get a first round pick regardless, especially if he has a great season. Adam. I have to get a first round pick. And I had an offensive lineman. He has to be the best offensive lineman in the game.
It's not going to be Quentin Nelson.
Look, they did that with Odell Beckham Jr., right? And Vernon Davis. Not Vernon Davis. Olivier Vernon, whatever that guy's name was.
They traded Vernon for Kevin Zeitler outright.
But what I'm saying is, we can make the trade where I can get something in return as well, not just the first round pick. You know what I mean? Like I rather have a solid guard. You have to go on people's rosters if that's what you want. I mean, it takes two to tango, right? So we're talking about trade bait here. I'm talking about assets. What are you going to give me now to be better? Because obviously, if you're getting rid of Barkley, he either is having a great year or you're having a crappy one. And you've got to figure out which one is that. If you're having a great year and your offensive line is your weakness, then I want my first round pick and I want somebody now in front that's probably good from your line.
Go ahead.
So the scenario is if Daniel Jones flukes, right, and Saquon has like a Adrian Peterson like year, like he had, or like a 2,000. Somebody said like a 2,000 yard, right? I'm trading Saquon, my first round pick from Chicago, and I'm exchanging that with Russell Wilson and their first round pick. Make it a deal. That's what I'm doing. So now I have a proven quarterback.
I think Seattle would want more.
Yeah, they want
for Russell Wilson. Well, then I'll give them my second. I'll give them another first round pick. I'll give them my second. my second first round pick, and then I can package probably a late round pick, something like that. I just want if Saquon has a good 2,000, like a great 2,000-yard season, and Daniel Jones flukes, the only position I'm trading him for is a quarterback.
Hey, sorry, Ash. We interrupt this broadcast with a breaking news report. The Washington football team is installing new grass at the FedEx Field.
Oh, damn.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That just came across my Twitter feed.
I love that.
You gotta do that.
Yo, I love that setup.
Luke, you gotta do that every single time
Yeah,
there's
we
some
should be
kind of
doing.
news.
How about that? Something
Hey.
we should be doing because we might have the worst grass in the entire country.
Yeah, remember people were tearing their ACLs left and right on our grass.
Did you guys see that they canceled the Philadelphia Eagles practice today because they found a white substance on the field? Come to find out, it was called the goal line.
You lying. I'm dead.
He's joking.
What am I saying?
I got a billion of them. Go ahead, laugh, Lou. It's all right.
Yeah.
Don't laughing at that, Joel. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're laughing.
Authentic
One
brings up
thing,
a
one
good
thing is
point.
not far fetched, man. If Jones doesn't step up to where the Giants want to continue with him after this year, that Russell Wilson to the Giants thing is real.
Yeah.
I don't see Seattle letting him go. I really don't. He's their,
Yeah, they
he's
will
their ticket
because he's not
attraction.
happy over there. He's not happy over
He's
there.
not
You
the
can
same.
say what you want,
That's the
brother.
thing
You
is,
signed
he's
a
not the same.
contract.
Authentic said, about time, Lou. I live here in D.C. That field is awful.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
FedEx
Seattle
is
doesn't
probably
go
one
far.
of the
It might be
worst
time for them to
stadiums
start
ever.
rebuilding too.
FedEx is so dirty. So dirty. And
Yo, our field
I
is
went
bad
there.
too, Ash. Our field is
Did I
very
miss
bad,
the
man.
No,
announcement
I'm
that
talking
they fixed
about.
FedEx
I'm talking
Field?
about the stadium. I'm talking about the whole
Yeah,
entire
they got
stadium.
an old school. They got a very old school stadium. They haven't done anything with it yet.
Like
What'd you say, Pat?
I said I missed the announcement of FedEx Field being fixed.
Yeah.
Renovated.
Oh, you missed it.
I got another major announcement. I got a bunch of Eagles fans on Twitter. They saying they got the best defense in the NFL now after they signed Ryan Kerrigan.
Okay. Are you serious? Are you kidding?
I demand a drug test for the entire Philadelphia
Oh
Eagles
my
roster.
God.
Listen,
We got
Ryan
the best.
Kerrigan
We got
is
the best.
Some
washed.
potent stuff to say that.
Ryan
Yeah,
Kerrigan
they
is
look for-
washed.
They
They're
had
looking
to
for
be
any.
trolling
They're
me.
looking for
We
anything
split
to be excited
secondary.
about. You
Oh
understand?
my
I
God.
said, if y'all believe y'all got the best pass rush with Ryan Kerrigan, God bless y'all. Because
Listen,
what
the
company
Eagles have
is it?
done weird things. They
Authentic
came out
the beard.
feisty, so
Right?
What
They're
company
the
is it
best.
that makes? What company is it that makes wheelchairs? Because I'm buying stock. The Eagles are going to need a lot of them with all these older guys.
their best
Kerrigan
corner is a
Kerrigan is
30-year-old
not the
Darius
same player
Slay.
anymore.
get the AARP cards out, people.
and
That's
Darius Slade can't even cover Darius Slayton on our team. So imagine what Galladay is gonna do.
All their games at 1 o'clock because they have to be for the early bird special, so they have to move all the games to 1.
He says, Miz. Good vibe says, Miz. Giants players aren't getting hurt. Only opponents. Keep the grass.
That-
Nah, that's well. The league was investigating the field last year, so you know what I'm saying. I don't know. What to tell
Yeah.
you.
It was like sticky or something.
Yeah, it was when the 40, like literally like half the roster of the 49ers got hurt.
Nick
they played the
Bosa.
Jets.
Listen,
Oh, yeah,
I
they
don't care
played,
about none of that.
Won the game.
I remember a few years ago we lost all our receivers in one game. Actually,
In one
10
game.
minutes.
Versus the
On the
Chargers.
same
In
field.
game.
Yeah,
That was
so-
crazy.
They all had the same injury, an ankle injury.
Yep.
Oh,
Brandon
that-
Marshall and OBJ went down to an ankle injury. Didn't
Sterling
Sterling
Shepard.
Shepard get hurt that game too?
Yep. And
Odell-
Dwayne Harrison.
Dwayne
Odell
Harris
hasn't been
and
the
Brandon
same
Marshall.
since that injury.
So crazy.
Odell hasn't been the same player since that injury.
No, he
Odell
lost
ain't been the
again.
same player since he got moved from Eli.
No,
Eli
no,
was what
yeah, I
made
know what you're
Odell
gonna
Beckham
say,
special.
Lou. I know what you're gonna say, but
No,
that,
it's not.
that,
Listen,
that
the kid
injury,
has talent. The kid is nice. The kid can ball out, and that's great. But Eli put him in positions to catch the ball and run because Eli was a veteran quarterback and he knew what he was doing with an explosive player. He didn't have an offensive line. He had to get the ball out of his hands in like 1.5 seconds. And the best thing he could do was give it to OBJ in the slant route and hope that his abilities would get him to the house. And most of the time, that's what OBJ did. But that's because of Eli Manning's field presence and generalship on the field and football IQ.
So Lou, you saying that Eli made OBJ's career?
Has he been the same OBJ anywhere else or without Eli Manning?
I don't think OBJ is happy.
No, he's not happy.
In a way, it's true. But in a way, OBJ was just different, man. Like, that was a different cat when he came out. I'm telling you that now.
Dude,
I'm not saying Eli Manning didn't play a major role with that, because he did. They had a chemistry out this world. And he was a good kid when he came out until that fame started going to his head, and after that Panthers game. I'm gonna say this.
That kid came from LSU to the Big Apple and got turned out.
Eli.
Right. But I'm gonna say this until everybody stops listening. That kid, OBJ, was different when he came out.
Yeah.
You've seen it, you felt it,
He had that
you heard it. Like, man, I'm telling you, when he was like, you playing, but when he was doing the whip,
nah, he had a certain
different.
That guy was made on that catch and became a rock star. It was great.
When he was doing the whip, it started to flip.
And then the thing is that when he shattered his ankle, I can see the gear is not there like it used to be. If you want to watch a game, watch him play the Eagles. There's a play when I don't know who the cornerback is, but his hips come back around so quick that the corner is not even turned around yet.
Right.
Even see where OBJ is. OBJ catches the ball, is gone for 60. And it was one of those things where I rewatched it 3 times because I did not understand what happened. And then we were watching slow motion, OBJ's hips were just on a different level. And this guy got turned around so badly that by the time he saw the ball, OBJ was in the end zone. So
same thing with the Jets. That catch he did against the Jets across the middle. Same thing he did with the Ravens.
Right.
I'll say another one that was easy. That one with the Dolphins when he caught it on that Monday night where Eli threw it to him. He was wide open.
I remember a Falcons game too.
How about the Washington Redskins diving?
Nah, you guys have missed the best one of all, man. And that was that 7-3 game against Dallas when you could see him pull away from the guy like with ridiculous on that slant.
Yeah.
Scored the only touchdown of the game and we won 10-7.
And we won 10-7.
Remember that?
Yeah, that play was ridiculous too. I'm telling you, man.
He went into a gear that no one ever seen before. Those were Dallas players that said that.
Right, and now he broke his foot, and I don't think he has that gear anymore.
I don't think he has the gear anymore. I don't think he has the passion anymore over there in Cleveland.
But they're winning, though. I mean,
agree, Dominic.
He's doing something he didn't do in New York, and that's win. So I don't know why he wouldn't be happy.
I mean,
because he don't have the nightlife, the limelight, all the.
I guess Cleveland's not that fun to be in.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think Eli played a major part with Odell, but I don't think he made him because I feel like Odell would do like what rookie Odell did on like a lot of teams in the NFL.
Matter of fact, I agree with you.
He would have.
So Good Vibes said like Eli made OBJ. I won't say he made him. Lou brings up a good point. You know, he put Odell in like position to succeed, but I feel like if Odell was on like any other team, like if Odell was in Atlanta or like Pittsburgh, he would still play like a major part. Like in the offense, he'll probably still be doing a lot of the same things.
OBJ. Unfortunately, Odell was drafted by the Giants at the wrong timing. You know what I mean? You kind of get what I'm saying? Like if Odell came along to the Giants now, it would be a different situation. A team that is growing fast, and he would have a lot more fun, and he would also behave better.
I'd love to see him with Daniel Jones.
The losing took a toll on him.
He tore his ACL on an interception by his bum QB.
I like I said, Lou, I believe a lot of that that's happening over there in Cleveland is a quarterback that's used to the Juice Landry. And I just don't believe he's happy over there. Landry cannot save him over there because he's just not happy. There's nothing in Cleveland for him. They don't run the offense through him, which they should have in the beginning, but now they're clicking without him. So that's really like, damn.
I think it's the endorsements. Miz might be right. He doesn't get the endorsements. He doesn't have he doesn't not in the spotlight on billboards anymore.
No, he wants to be in New York, man. He wants to be back in New York. I'm telling you, he's dying to be a Giant again.
He said he would come back. He said he would come back.
Listen, but he went about leaving wrong. The way he went about it was horrible. He got out there on the podium and trashed Eli. You know what I'm saying? Then he did the social media thing. You know what I'm saying? If he'd have handled it with a little more class, I believe they would bring him back. Because don't get me wrong, the kid is phenomenal. But like I said, his first 3 seasons was because he was playing with a veteran quarterback, a Manning. Don't forget, y'all. Look, everybody gets on Manning and says he threw picks and this and that, and he made this stupid face, and he always had this dumbfounded look. But there is a Manning school for quarterbacks. Most of these quarterbacks that get drafted into the NFL, guess what? They went to that Manning Academy and learned from Eli, Peyton, and Cooper and them dudes. So, you know, let's not talk about this guy like he was a bum. You know what I'm saying? He had a bum O-line for a long time, and he had a bum general manager.
I don't think we're necessarily.
Nobody's. Go ahead.
Eli was a bum. I think what we're saying is that we have to give OBJ some credit as well, that he made those plays, not just Eli putting it in the right spot. I mean, that back throw, that one-handed catch, that was not really the greatest throw by Eli Manning.
OBJ. Yeah, that was a bad throw, and that was all athleticism by OBJ with pass interference to boot.
Right. So, but what I'm trying to get at, Lou, is like I think maybe saying Eli was not a part of it is not necessarily incorrect. But what they're saying is, let's give credit to OBJ as well. I mean, because if you look at that guy's foot speed, that little leg drag that he had, nobody could catch him. He'd do that little stutter go, and that was it.
Oh my God, no, the kid's great.
And that dude carried.
You know, I don't want to come across like I bash his ability or nothing.
Oh,
That's
wow.
not what I'm saying.
He carried the
they're
Giants
showing
offense.
on NFL Network. They're showing the Giant Patriots Super Bowl.
2016 was OBJ.
59 seconds left. Eli's throwing the pass to Burris in the end zone right now.
Hey, listen, guys, I only got one thing to say about this conversation, and this one's for you, Lou. Tony. He's going to show us what OBJ 2.0 looks like.
You think so? You think he can be an OBJ?
I do.
I
do. I think we're gonna. I think he can. He's the guy that's going to be closest to resemble OBJ. This guy's got the moves, and they say he needs to improve his route running. I watched his highlight tape from last year. If that guy improves his route running, they're in a defensive back that's going to keep up with him. He had 4 or 5 turned around at one point in time.
I'm watching the Super Bowl right now.
This kid, I'm telling you,
right, Logan?
If Garrett can get the play calling and get a not vanilla offense and create separation and create plays for these guys to get them in space.
I agree, Authentic.
See, that's my biggest fear. What Authentic say?
I understand that OBJ and Tony, they will be different people. But as far as play styles in the NFL, that's what a lot of people do is they compare one player to another. If we sit here and say that this guy looks like Brett Favre, or this guy plays like Steve Young, or this guy plays like Joe Montana, or this guy's like Jerry Rice, and we all do it. So if you all I'm doing is just comparing him to how I believe he can be in the Giants offense. Okay. Because if there's 8 in the box and there's single man coverage, I think Tony's got that step. I think he has that ability to create separation within 5 yards.
Because I think go ahead.
I agree with him. I agree with you.
I think that the main thing well, not the main thing. One of the most important things that OBJ brought to the team when he came was that electric energy and that passion to win. More than not more than anything, because his ability was amazing too. But he had a passion and an electric energy that revived the rest of the team because the team was dying. And I give it that. OBJ he revitalized a dying team when he came.
I'm not saying that Tony's going to do that, but what I think Joel correct me if I'm wrong, Joel. I think what you're saying is the skill set that Tony's going to bring is comparable to what OBJ brought when we initially thought he was coming in. Right, to the Giants.
Yes.
We didn't know OBJ was going to be OBJ until that crazy catch and everything like that. Nobody knew. He was good. He came in with Atlanta. He worked his way in. We didn't think he was going to be a beast. Right? I didn't. When I watched his highlights coming out of college, I'm like, oh, 12th receiver. Cool. Let's see what he does. Well, guess what? If we were to redo that draft, he's probably the first receiver over Sammy Watkins now. But my point is what I think Joel is trying to say is, because I had the same thought, is Tony is the first receiver we've had that's had explosive capabilities like OBJ. This guy hit the ball 0 to 60 and go to the house, right?
Yes.
We didn't have that with anybody the last couple of years. So to have that ability, and I'm not saying he's going to have OBJ numbers. I'm not saying he's going to even reach those plateaus. But the fact that I can give him the ball and he can go 60 yards in 30 seconds or whatever it is down the field, bang, that's what we need. We didn't have that guy. The only guy we had was Barkley. Now we finally have a guy in the wide receiver room that people are going to be scared of.
Yes.
Want to, let him get behind them on defense.
Yes.
That dude, Tony, had 153 yards and a touchdown versus Alabama.
Yes.
Alabama. I don't care who was playing for Alabama. Left. If it's Alabama, the closest team in college football to the NFL, I don't care if Tim Tebow was playing cornerback. It's Alabama.
Played for 100 seasons.
You said what?
Authentic said Armani Toomer was number 1 and he played for 100 seasons.
It felt like that.
Yeah, Armani Toomer was around for about 15 years.
He was clutch though.
Yes, he was. He was clutch.
My favorite was Hakeem Nicks.
He was on the team with Ike Hilliard. That's how far
Ike Hilliard too, man. Yeah. But Hakeem Nicks is my guy. If I have to go to receiver, that's the guy I loved watching, man.
I love Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. He was my guy, but that's going back away.
I'm not gonna lie. The best receiver I like watching for the Giants was Plexico. I loved Plexico.
Me too. Same thing, Plexico.
He took a lot of garbage throws and made them incredible.
Right.
Oh my God.
And if he wouldn't have shot himself, I believe he would have been the greatest in Giants history.
I think we'd have repeated.
I think
we was 11-1 when he shot himself.
Yeah, nobody was touching us.
God damn, my chair just broke.
The one thing I like about Tony, I already could tell, and we haven't even seen him yet, is he's not going to have this arrogant cockiness about himself. This guy's willing, you could tell he's going to work real hard.
Not yet.
Yeah, good vibes. Isn't Toomer still the all-time leading receiver? Toomer still the all-time leading receiver for the Giants.
That's not going to happen because Judge isn't going to let him. This isn't McAdoo we're talking about either. Letting OBJ go off. I mean, he's going to hold him in.
Young Joker is going to be all over the end zone, man. I mean, come on, man.
Joker.
I keep trying to tell people that OBJ was a different story, man. He came in at a time where the Giants needed something. We were terrible.
He wasn't.
He gave us that spark. And there's really nothing you could have said to him because he was the only thing that people were watching for the New York Giants. That's why he got away with what he got away with.
Exactly.
If he would have came in during the time where we had Amani Toomer and them, OBJ wouldn't have been like that because Tom Coughlin had more control over the organization because we were relevant. At that time when OBJ came, he was the reason why you watched the New York Giants. So you're going to discipline him when he's putting butts in his...
Jerry Reese murdered this team with horrible drafting.
I love watching him.
That's true. And that's why OBJ had that power because what was you going to tell him? He was the only reason why the Giants were making money during that period.
Yeah, he was putting asses in seats.
Yeah, but he
what could Tom Coughlin do? What could Tom Coughlin do?
Was a lame duck that year.
Yes, he was.
He couldn't even bench him in that game against Norman because he needed to win it so desperately to save his job. You know.
Well, I don't even think it was about that because the guy that I know Tom Coughlin is, he wouldn't have gave a shit. I believe he was forced to put that man on the field to keep that man on the field. I believe not so much a mayor. I believe it was more Tish.
But he was a beast. That game against Carolina, man. I say what you want about that fight. I have my own reservations. If a man's going to come at me with a bat pregame, then it's on. And if the ref is not going to call anything when I get body slammed right in front of it, okay, then we're going to play that way. You know, I mean, the dirty hit I don't agree with, but that boy went off on Josh Norman. He made Josh Norman. If it wasn't for OBJ, he made Josh Norman. Josh Norman would be nothing without OBJ. We can thank you for that. OBJ tells him every week.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ash. I heard you.
No, you straight. I didn't know you straight. I was just saying, hold on, good vibes. You can't compare Toomer to Odell. Like Toomer and Eli had a way better team than what Odell endured when he got drafted. Like Odell was on. Like, let's be real, we were a dumpster fire until like 2016. Like when Odell came in here. Odell, and even in 2016, Odell carried this offense. Like we wasn't making the playoffs without Odell. Let's be real. You can't compare Amani Toomer.
Odell was the offense that year.
I have a report. The Giants have just taken the lead in Super Bowl 42.
Yeah, but
go ahead, Ash.
Go
ahead.
I'll be right back.
That offense didn't get us to the playoffs that year. Sorry, that defense did.
But OBJ was the reason why we scored any points that year. It was like on offense.
He won 3 games on his own on slant routes.
Straight up.
We don't win that Dallas game without Odell.
Baltimore
Ravens, and then there was another game. The Eagle game, I think he also won that game too.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like Victor Cruz in 2011, like and even Odell provided something like we have never really seen. And it's a shame that he let his ego get the best of him. And even like, and not to like put any of like the blame off of him, but the media knew what they were doing with Odell as well. Like they knew they could get to him easily. And he was like, he let his emotions get the best of him. So my thing is just like we never really saw something like Odell and like the dynamic and electricity that we saw Odell. Last time we really saw something like that was Victor Cruz.
I miss his dog. I miss the dog in Odell. Like when he came out, we knew that we were going to have a show today on Sundays. We knew that we were winning one matchup when OBJ walked out there. That's what I loved about watching him on Sundays was the dog mentality. Now, the dog and pony show that he had got a little over. Hell, I loved a lot of the things he did, especially peeing in the Eagles' end zone. Since I hate the Eagles, I would have done the same thing, you know. But you know, who knows, you know? But like
it was just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
It was just something that, as a New York Giants fan, if you watch New York Giants, you weren't used to.
Yeah, you always ask yourself, when do we have that guy?
Yeah, when do we ever have a guy that was that brash and that talented and commanded that much attention?
I couldn't agree with you more, man.
The closest thing we had to that was LT. That was the closest thing we had to that. And it was just different. And it came at a time to where we were at our lowest. So did we win? Look, did we win shit with Odell? No. That's why I'm not one of those fans that say I hate the trade. I love the trade. But let's be real, he was the only reason why you watched the New York Giants back then. Unless you were a true fan like me, I don't care if we go 0-16, I'm still gonna be cheering like an idiot.
Exactly.
Week 17. But if you weren't a true Giants fan, that was the only reason why you watched the Giants.
But yeah, like T.V. Barber used to say it best. He said, I want to be one of those players you can't leave the couch to go up and get a beer for because I'm on the field. That was OBJ. You were glued to your seat while the offense was out there.
Yes, you were.
God forbid I got up to do something and OBJ scored. I don't want to be that guy that missed out. Right. So
I'm not gonna lie. When our offense was on the field with OBJ, we were the worst offense in the league, but I was watching our offense like we were the best because of that guy was on the field. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to strip the man of his credit for what he did for this organization. I can't do that. And I got to be fair, but he just wasn't a winner, and that's why he was able to be traded. That's what it was. We didn't win with him.
We had something that we didn't have in a long time because you saw it when we had Shepard and then we had Barkley. Like Odell did a lot for this offense by not even making plays. Like this dude, unless you were some big ego corner like Josh Norman or Xavier Rose at the time, you weren't pressing Odell. Like you weren't pressing him. Like even if Odell was out there with both ankles taped, you weren't gonna press him because Odell literally put the fear of God into some NFL defenses just by the thought of him on the field. That's something that the offense really didn't have in a long time.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, authentic there. He says, I don't hate it and I don't love it, the trade. Well, okay. Some people were for the trade, some people weren't. But this trade with Odell might be something that you might have to get used to now as a Giants fan. Joe Judge comes from New England. They don't give guys big contracts. Is he going to do that same thing again once he gets his team going? Because he had to spend
$76 million.
Well, he's just getting it going. He's getting pieces to be winning. Okay? We got to give him 3 or 4 drafts. All right, let's look at the guys coming up on their 5th-year option. We got Peppers on their 5th-year option coming up, right? We got Barkley coming up on his 5th-year option. We've got Ingram coming up, and we all know how we feel it, but this is just the guys coming up. And then looks at Hernandez is going to have to be re-signed. So there's 5 guys right off the bat. How many of them are going to come back next year? So, look, this might be something where Barkley does get traded. This might be where Dexter Lawrence might get traded.
No, Dexter Lawrence.
Listen.
Went too far right there, Joe.
That's my guy, sexy Dexter.
Listen.
We don't
Right
trade
there, baby.
Dexter.
That's
But here's
ball
the
right
thing.
there.
He's a fan favorite. We love the guy. We want to see him in Giants blue for 12 years. I'm the same way. But if Joe Judge feels that he can replace that guy with a pick, or it's not. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. It's just realism. The Giants team are not like what we were talking about with Odell when he came in. That's something us Giants fans are not used to, was the show, the high profile.
I don't think. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Just real quick, then you can go, Ash. Look, I'm not saying I want it either, but let's look at Joe Judge and what coaching trees he comes from. That's it. Go ahead, Ash.
I was just gonna say something quick, and you can continue. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
no, I'm good.
I was just saying, like, I don't think we're keeping Dexter Lawrence, like, because we literally, like, defensive tackles for us is easy to replace. We had what's his Linval Joseph, what's the other dude's name? Jonathan Hankins.
Yep.
Snacks Harrison, Dalvin. Yeah, like so,
the list goes on and on.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I agree with you there. And I do think it's gonna take time for Joe Judge. Like, I think Joe Judge is just getting these pieces to win. Yes, and then when he's building, like when we're starting to get to like the point where we're always winning, and I'm not gonna say we're gonna be New England, but like that type of New England, like type of culture, then I agree with you. We'll probably see him like, letting go and keeping like the strong core guys there,
Yes.
Hey, once again, I just want to say something. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dex is not going anywhere. Well, once again, shout out to Good Vibes.
Can't go nowhere.
Shout out to Good Vibes and Authentic, man. They have been going hard for like an hour and a half. Like, I really might need y'all on the show. Y'all have been going absolutely nuts in the chat.
For real.
Yeah. Oh, it's been great.
That's crazy because that is true. Authentic. Owens, Moss, and Ocho have no hardware, and they were great players, like a OBJ starting out. I will say this. I believe Philadelphia failed Terrell Owens, and I believe the Vikings failed Randy Moss.
Yes.
And I believe the Bengals failed Ocho Cinco. I don't think they're the reason why those teams didn't win a Super Bowl. You got to think, Owens played in the Super Bowl with one leg, came back and was the MVP pretty much of the Super Bowl. All McNabb had to do was play correctly, and they would have beat the Patriots. I'm being real.
I think Andy Reid learned from that. and I think that's why he was the guy that brought Vic back.
Yeah, you can say what you want about Terrell Owens, man. That man poured his heart on the field.
Yes,
That was the most.
No, that dude was a monster, bro.
Yeah, that was the most controlled rage player I've ever seen play on the field.
I love me some me.
You ain't lying. I used to watch T.O. like crazy as a kid, like crazy. When he started going off around like 98.
And they can say what they want, but football, he brought a lot of fans to football that didn't watch football just with some of his antics.
The Dallas Star thing, I'll never forget.
Yes.
Never forget.
I believe that was absolutely hilarious.
Exactly. I loved it. I loved it.
Because you got to think, Dallas Cowboys, man, they talk so much. They talk so much.
And back then, too.
And T.O. told them, you're not going to stop me this whole game. Told it to their faces. You're not going to stop me. I'm going to catch this touchdown, literally during the play. I'm going to catch this touchdown, and there's not a damn thing you're going to do about it. Did it. Ran to the star. I was like, okay. When he started running, I was like, he's getting ready to run to the middle of that star because the Cowboys were talking so much shit that whole season. Like, they were just great. And they sucked. Those years after 1995 with Emmitt Smith and them, they were terrible. I don't care what nobody says.
He also did the Sharpie thing against us.
And I'm the type of cat, like, if you don't want this guy to do this, just stop him. You're not giving him a reason not to stop him.
He was great.
Was I mad at George T for popping him? No, that's a part of it. You're protecting your star.
Right.
But don't bash the man like that in front of the team, like Mariucci did. Suspend the guy and everything. No, man, they're being competitors, man. You're taking away his swag.
I would have been like, we need 11 more of those guys on the field, bro.
I tell you what, my favorite T.O. moment is when we made that boy cry on national television.
That's my quarterback.
That was hilarious as well. But
That's my quarterback.
Guess what? You know how unfair they did T.O. in the league? They got rid of T.O. But Tony Romo and Witten won Cabo St. Lucas a week before the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, T.O. was
there?
bigger than McNabb.
Yeah. But who was there training and going crazy?
The Hall of Fame.
Getting ready for the playoff game. T.O. was. But Romo played terrible that game, didn't he?
That's my quarterback.
3 picks.
And where was Witten? Usually Witten destroys us, right? How do you do?
That's my
But
quarterback.
they turn around and fire T.O. for that. Then he goes to Cincinnati. Damn, they gets 1,000 yards. And how old was he? Was he like 36, 37?
Then he go to
Balled out over there. Guess
Grandpa
what?
T.O.
They got rid of T.O. like he was a problem over there in Cincinnati, even though, was it Carson Palmer at the time? Wasn't getting it done.
The red rifle? Is that Carson Palmer?
The red
rifle is Andy Dalton.
Okay.
That is.
That's my quarterback.
And then he goes to the Bills and almost gets another 1,000 yards at the age of 38.
Yep.
And then they blame him again like he did something to the Bills. No, y'all were just terrible. He got that from J.P. Losman. That's the definition of a receiver being great. It didn't matter what quarterback he played with. He played with Jeff Garcia. He played with Tim Rattay. He played with Kevin Kolb. He played with Donovan McNabb. He played with Carson Palmer. And he played with J.P. Losman.
Chill, Authentic. Don't do it to him.
I don't believe he had one during his whole career.
Who said some slick shit?
Nah, he was just saying, for the record, I'm an OG, just so no one get it twisted. I seen this shit.
I don't understand why he doesn't call in. Call in, man.
That's my quarterback.
I thought somebody said something slick to him.
It's my quarterback.
On the show.
He never played with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, Randy Moss, on the other hand, great receiver. Probably the greatest receiver to ever touch the field. Jerry Rice included.
That's my quarterback.
Played when he wanted to and put up those stats. Can you imagine if he had the same passion that Terrell Owens had?
Pat, somebody in the chat as asking for the link.
Rick Gold.
Can you imagine what Randy Moss would have put up if he had the same passion Terrell Owens had?
That's my quarterback.
Oh, Paul, I was telling
Authentic in the beard.
I was telling Authentic to call in, join the show, come on here and talk.
He said, "I'll be back, podding and
You know,
talking soon, Miz."
and it's
Listen,
like
man,
you guys talk
I don't
about
want to hear
these.
about this TO shit. The Cowboys are the most overrated team on the planet. Bottom line. Enough
And
of
it
that
will always
bullshit.
be the most overrated team on the planet.
And you
And
Do we
we
can't
got?
gonna
turn on
prove it.
Do you know
And
these
we gonna
can't
boys are
turn
prove
in
it
on the
the
this
Super Bowl?
year.
ESPN without them sucking them off. Okay, so I'm tired of it.
Yo, yesterday I was watching. I never watched First Take, but I turned it on because I was bored.
All right,
This-
Joseph Bobby.
This dude
Later,
legit
Joseph.
said. This man said the Cowboys have a championship caliber squad and they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh,
They
they've been
say it
saying that
every
since
year.
'95.
Cool.
Yo, Pat, I tell you something. I was looking at their schedule, and I see the Cowboys could start off 0-2.
They always can start off
Yeah.
0-2. Don't they do it
They,
every
they
year?
faced the Chargers week 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Look,
Over
Everybody talking
So-
about
That's my
Dak
quarterback.
Prescott this. You do
Dak
know they should have been
Prescott's
on.
back.
Then they should have been on 4 last year with Dak Prescott in there.
The
This
only
was-
reason
this
they
was
weren't
killing
on
me.
fourth. The
Look,
only
wait a
reason.
minute.
Sorry.
Oh, that's you. You're the question guy. What's going on, Reed?
What's up?
He's the
What's
guy
up?
that
What's
gives
up?
all the great questions. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man.
Well-
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
Yeah, but they do this every year, man.
The only reason they weren't on fourth is because the Falcons are
Hey,
on a whole lead.
listen, okay? The Dallas Cowboys, when they want to watch a Super Bowl victory, they have to get out a VHS tape, all right?
Right.
We got our shit on CD, goddammit.
Look, this was been
Joe's
bugging
on
me
fire
lately.
tonight.
This was been bugging me lately. Ever since the schedule was released, right? And this is not a knock on any Giants YouTuber. I'm talking about the actual media, ESPN and all these other guys. They got us winning like 5 games this season.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god!
are you guys serious right now? Like we won
Vegas,
6 last year.
But they got the Cowboys going 20-0.
Vegas has us at 7 today.
Like
Vegas has
this
us at
is
7
ridiculous. Like they disrespecting us to the utmost, and I believe Joe Judge is going to utilize that
What
to
else
light a
is he
fire
doing?
under the team, and I believe the team is already utilizing it themselves to light a fire under themselves. We already saw Daniel Jones and the wide receivers and some of the offensive linemen working out in Arizona. Now we see the secondary in Florida working out and building chemistry together. Even saw McKinney out there with Adoree Jackson and Logan Ryan and what's the other guy? Rodarius Williams.
Daniel
So-
Jones is at mini camp right now, or rookie mini camp with some
Yeah.
other veterans.
Even though they said they was gonna opt out of all the voluntary stuff, we had over 45 guys show up.
Yep.
So these guys are all in, man, and you know the sports media, not the social media, you know, not the YouTubers, but the sports media is dogging us out still. Like we just gonna win 5 to 7 games this year,
They'll
and I
always
don't
do
see
that.
it. I don't see it.
But they'll have the Cowboys going 20-0.
Let me ask you guys a question. Can't battle. Do you think Darnay Holmes or Aaron Robinson is going to be the starting nickel this year?
I'm gonna answer that real quick. I think they both win.
Yep.
Reason why? I believe that was a strategy move by Joe Judge. He seen last year that when teams spread us out, we had a whole bunch of trouble. Even with the Redskins offense, when they spread us out, they were hitting those bum receivers against us in the middle of the field because we didn't have a second corner and we didn't have a fourth corner to put out there. So we had to try to make up for it with zones. I think they both play a lot more. I believe when it's like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, we put out dime packages and have them both out there. And if you want to make an absolute winner, I believe Aaron Robinson wins out because we play a lot of teams with bigger guys in the slot. And I believe they want to put him on bigger guys than Darnay Holmes. And I think they just like this guy's toughness, and I think they like his technique. It's something about this guy, a reason why they traded up to get him. And the more I look at him, the more I see he
I love
fits
him.
Patrick Graham's way of defense a lot better than what Darnay Holmes does.
You think he's better blitzer?
Oh yeah.
I believe he's a better blitzer because he's more physical, but when it comes to actual speed getting to the quarterback, if Darnay Holmes can make somebody miss, he can get in there a lot faster and be more effective. I believe Darnay Holmes could be a more effective blitzer.
I watched a little last year, and I was just wondering, because Darnay Holmes blitzed a lot, so I wanted to see if they got him because he's a little bigger, Aaron Robinson.
Yeah, I believe they got Aaron Robinson because they wanted to be more physical in the slot. What teams like Dallas with CeeDee Lamb in the slot, who gives us problems, or a bigger receiver like Sims for the Redskins last year, who gave us problems. Well, I keep saying the Redskins. I mean the football team, who gave us problems in the slot last year because he was just bigger than Darnay Holmes. He's not more talented or more technique. It's like Darnay Holmes was just a little bit small compared to guys like that. So I think they both win. I think they both split time with that third cornerback, and I believe we play a lot more dime this year.
Don't forget J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the greatest receiver of all time. Don't forget him.
Injuries happen too. There's always injuries, so it's good to rotate.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, we still got Julian Love. We still got Darnay Holmes as well, as well as the two that we drafted. We still got Dory Jackson, James Bradbury. I don't think Sam Bill's gonna make the team.
Hey, listen,
but we still have him as well. No, I'm not saying I don't like him. I don't think he's gonna make the team.
No, I know
Look, we got 16 linebackers right now. 16. Yeah, I did a video where I just talked about 12 of them. We have 16.
Speaking of linebackers,
because we got Cale Garrett. We got Cale Garrett from Mizzou. We got
a white
Trent
guy.
Harris. We got.
Because Adam and I were going at it last night about this. What was his name?
This guy's like Cole Garrett's gonna be a starting linebacker on the Giants, man. I started dying.
I just started looking out, I was like, yo, we got this Cole Garrett. He's gonna be a starter.
He may not even get to camp. I'm sorry. I know you like him. His highlights are fun, but when you told me he was a starting linebacker, I almost fell off my chair laughing.
Who is this?
Cale Garrett.
Cale Garrett from Mizzou? Nah, that dude. Look, that's what I'm saying. But we have 16.
Gonna be the long snapper.
We have 16 linebackers right now. Cale Garrett is one of them, believe it or not.
Cale Garrett.
But we also have Trent Harris, Cam Brown, Tay Crowder.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Let me see. Carter Coughlin, Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Zimenez, Afadio Denabo, Ryan Anderson,
Reggie
Blake Martinez, Reggie Ragland,
and Aziz
Ojolari. We have 16 linebackers.
And Ellerson Smith as well. I don't know.
Ellerson Smith and Raymond Johnson, because they were both defensive ends that were signed as outside linebackers.
Yep. We got a lot of people out there, man.
Yeah, but they're not all making it, man. They're not all making the team,
man. It's your first time on here, man. You got anything to say, bro?
I don't have anything to say right now. This is not what I'm used to. I'm used to one-on-one with some people.
Yeah, we debate here on Big Pat Sports Talk, man. We get bad debates around here because I just love talking about my team, man. I love hearing other people's opinions about the team and directions we're going. So this is a debate channel. That's why you see so many square pegs on here. And you're going to continue to see it because a lot of people have things to say. You know, I want to hear.
I haven't heard anything I disagree with yet. So,
well, hey Pat, Blue City Empire Sports. I've seen a couple of people say this about Jerry Reese, and you're absolutely right. And this is the first year we're finally out from underneath everything that Jerry Reese did.
I'll be waiting for you, Authentic.
It's taken that long for us to get out from under everything that man did in 2017.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about
that, bro. He didn't address the O-line sooner than that. He didn't repair the defensive line. All we had left was Jason Pierre-Paul. He didn't restock after Tuck or O.C. Umenyiora left. He didn't replenish that, and he didn't readdress the O-line. After Chris Snee and all of that, Justin Pugh, Weston Richburg.
Yeah, but those guys failed. But that he went for the position of O-line. I'm not trying to defend him, but when you go for the position of O-line and your guy fails, that is more to do with the player. I mean, Justin Pugh is a solid player.
Eric Flowers was supposed to go in the third
Right.
round, and then Reese panicked and grabbed him.
Yes, I agree with Eric Reese. I mean, I agree with
Don't bring up
that.
his
The player
name.
sucks, but the idea was good. Like I agree with the offensive line, but he picked the shitty offensive lineman.
Right.
But if they pan out, then they're geniuses. My point is, he did address the offensive line. They just all failed. Right? It's not like he didn't pick guys. He tried, and they just didn't fail. Weston Richburg got injured. Justin Pugh, same deal. Eric Flowers was just a shit show.
Eric Flowers was the man. God,
Eric Flowers.
I'm trying to not curse.
But with those guys, though, Weston Richburg went on to San Francisco to have a good career.
Justin
Just Pugh went on to Arizona to have a decent career, and Eric Flowers has gotten 2 extra contracts after leaving us. I don't know how, but he has.
Eric Flowers is back in our division, and I hope we blitz him every time.
Leonard Williams is just gonna boom.
But let me tell you what Jerry Reese failed the organization, man. I believe it was Ernie Accorsi before him, correct?
Yes.
When we won that Super Bowl, that was with Ernie Accorsi's team, correct? In 2011.
Right, just like Jay Gruden won that Super Bowl on Tony Dungy's merit.
Yeah. He didn't stick to New York Giants roots. What I mean by that, as much as I love OBJ wasn't a New York Giants type player. When he drafted these guys, Evan Ingram, he's not a New York Giants type player. He was drafting finesse pieces when we needed our heart and soul replaced on this team with the defensive line and offensive line. Yes, he did try, but as a GM, you gotta take that L, man. When those people don't pan out, you pick the person.
Yep.
You said you studied the person. You said you looked at film on this person. You said this person was going to be good for our organization.
No, but then they made Coughlin the scapegoat, and then Eli the scapegoat.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting to. When you make those picks, you're saying that these picks are good for the organization. When they picked Eric Flowers, I knew we messed up. When we picked Eli Apple, I knew we messed up. When we picked Evan Ingram first round, I knew we messed up. He continually did the same thing.
He's still on the team.
And for some reason, nobody ever addressed that with Jerry Reese. And then when they finally did it, he panics and puts us in cap hell and brings in Snacks, Oliver Vernon, Janoris Jenkins, all those pieces, Rogers Cromartie, and we have really a lucky season to get into the playoffs that year because we did play a lot of bad teams who couldn't score, and we couldn't score either. But we let that guy stay on too long, and then I fought Tish and Mary because then you fired Tom Coughlin. Okay, I could get with you on that.
You said we couldn't score. That's the same season we went blow for blow with New Orleans Saints and lost that game 49-51 or something like that.
No, that 2016 season, we couldn't score nothing. That was pure defense that season.
Oh, yeah.
But you fired Tom Coughlin, but you don't fire Jerry Reese.
He was the one that should have got fired.
Yeah, if anybody, Jerry Reese should have been the one that was going. If you're only going to release one of them, but if you do fire Coughlin, you damn sure better fire Jerry Reese because he was giving Coughlin the pieces to work with.
Right. Listen, I'm all for fire Jerry Reese. I was just saying that he tried and he failed. That's all.
Yeah, he did. No doubt about it, Adam. Yeah. He did try. Weston Westberg. Well, I can't even say his name correctly. He actually turned out to be pretty good. It's just that he wasn't good for us. When he went to San Francisco, yeah.
Well, see, the only reason Eric Flowers got another contract, and I think somebody said this in the comments, was because he's not playing tackle no more. He's playing guard.
Right.
And I think we were too stubborn to move him inside because
he should have been. Come on, man. It's certain guys that you can look at and be like, you know what?
He's a
guard.
Yeah, no, he's garbage. Yeah, that's
garbage.
Trash man.
It's certain guys you can. I looked at Eli Apple when we took him. I was like, nah, this guy ain't it, man. The way we drafted this guy, he was supposed to be a number one DB. Nah, this guy ain't got it, man. Nah. I looked at Eric Flowers. You can just look at him. You can tell, like, no, don't do it.
Don't do it, please.
Dwayne Haskins. I looked at that guy. I was like, hell no.
Don't do it.
Something ain't right about this cat. I don't know. You gotta read energy sometimes when you're a GM and you're in that high end position, because one pick can turn your franchise back to hell.
Well, that is right. In 1996, I do believe they drafted a man by the name of Cedric Jones.
Oh God.
He was terrible, right? And that was a panic move by George Young at the time. So every GM has their blunders, going forward. I mean, Jerry Reese struck out a lot more. He built the skill positions. I get that. And I'm not trying to give him credit. All I'm trying to say is basically he failed, but he did try. You know what I mean? I can't fault him and say, well, he didn't put in the research. No, he tried. They just didn't come to fruition. You know what I mean?
Because it wasn't, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Adam, but just real quick to your point, didn't Reese draft Justin Tuck out of Notre Dame?
No.
No.
Justin Tuck was Wellington Mara's last pick.
Yes.
Justin Tuck was Wellington Mara's last draft pick. He was the Duke's last draft pick.
All right, so that was with Accorsi and him. All right, so then it was just JPP that he drafted.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Which was gold.
Okay. I just got lost for Giants fans. Go ahead.
And that whole 07 team he did draft too. Like those were his guys that he drafted. The players, that team might have been inherited from Ernie Accorsi, but that 2007 draft was a gem for him as well. Aaron Ross. I love that guy.
He gave us people like Aaron Ross who played pretty well. I mean, he wasn't the greatest, but he was a giant. He drafted.
Reek looks like he's over there researching what I just said about Wellington Mara. Is that what you're
right? But the Super Bowl, that was Accorsi too in 2000.
Right. So let's and this is another reason. Let's appreciate what Dave Gettleman has done. Like, let's appreciate the guy. He's not
gotta sometimes think what he's done in the past.
He's done a hell of a lot for what he wanted. You said what?
Ignorant to how much work Gettleman's done.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to be on much longer. And I'm not saying that because I think he's doing a bad job, but he's
going to retire.
He's old.
Yeah.
I think Kevin
went through cancer. That takes a lot on you. So
look at Gettleman's past, and people don't really want to do this, but Gettleman was on this staff when the Giants were winning Super Bowls.
Accorsi. That's right.
Okay, he went to Carolina, and look at Carolina's track record. They went 15-1, and they went to a Super Bowl. But then something happened in Carolina. They got rid of Gettleman, and that team just went. Well, I think it was 8-8 or 9-7 to 6-10 to 4-12 to. I mean, that's how much Gettleman affected that team, and they haven't been good since they got rid of him. He comes to the Giants, and all the fans want him gone, but now all of a sudden he's had a couple of years to do things. Authentic brought it up. He said, how much do you think the coach and the GM, how much does the coach really have to say? Well, right now, I think on the Giants, that would be 50-50 because I think they really discuss it out. They talk it out, and then they come to the best situation for the Giants to get the best player or the player that fits because they're not just bringing in anybody.
Yeah, I think what always gets Dave Gettleman a lot of flack, he makes moves that a lot of people just don't see coming. Like with the Panthers, they didn't see Steve Smith being released coming.
Right.
They didn't. They didn't see Josh Norman getting his franchise tag rescinded. They didn't see that coming.
The main reason people wanted Gettleman gone was because he traded OBJ. Aside from that, people really can't say too much about Gettleman.
Won that trade.
Right. Leonard Williams came from that trade. Jabril Peppers came from that trade, and the first round pick, I believe it was. No,
it was Dexter Lawrence, not Leo.
Dexter Lawrence, the first round.
Dexter Lawrence.
There you go. So I mean, those picks, that trade paid off.
He always wins in the end. It's never just like you look at it face value. Like when it happens in the moment, you're like, "What are you doing?"
And he said something like the press conference that a lot of people just let it slip by and didn't really pay attention to. You won't know the effects of this trade or this pick until 3 years from now. He says that over and over, and a lot of people don't catch that, but it's a reality because a lot of times, even when you draft a player fresh from college, a lot of times they're not breakout players their first season. A lot of times they make a big jump the second year, and then the third year they're expected to show, okay, now you've had 2 years in a baby walker. Now take your steps without the walker.
By the
You know
way,
what I mean?
That makes sense too, because it's like here's an example. Like imagine like 2 years ago when we were getting killed by the Eagles, we were like, hey, don't worry, 2 years from now we'll beat the Eagles. You'd be like, I want to beat them now. What the heck? So
well,
Like I said, that proves my point. A lot of his moves, you just don't see it coming, and you can't fathom the idea of him doing this. Like he got Leonard Williams, and basically he was like, "Look, this guy's gonna be the staple of this defensive line in 2 years. He's gonna be a great run stuffer." How the hell can you give up a 3rd-round pick for Leonard Williams? He's only had 1 Pro Bowl, and you're stupid. Leonard Williams is getting a $21 million contract because he's just that important to this team.
they had to decontaminate him.
And was the second-ranked defensive lineman last year. Second best ranked defensive lineman, or third best ranked defensive lineman last year.
Speaking of defense, I got a question for you guys. Say we don't re-sign Zoe Carter when his contract's up. Do you think Ellerson Smith is going to be a good replacement for him, or do you guys not have faith in him?
Not this year. I
Too early
believe.
to tell.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I believe Ellerson Smith has the potential to be a great D end or outside linebacker in this league. But I believe that they're going to want him to get his weight up and work on his power and get some more power, because these offensive linemen that he's going to be going against are grown men. And there's a difference, and I'm not trying to be funny, between teenage strength and 20-year-old strength and grown man strength. There is a difference. So when you're as light in the rear end as he is, and as tall as he is, because he has an awkward frame. He's 6'7", 260 pounds. Yeah.
6'7"?
Ellerson Smith is 6'7", 260 pounds about, because he was 230 and he put on 30 pounds approximately. So he's about 260 at a 6'7" frame. So he has long arms, which is great. But, you know, he has to grow into his body a little bit. He needs a little more mass, or them old linemen are going to pancake him every time.
Damn.
Hey, I'm going to fire up this panel here, because don't be surprised if Lorenzo Carter gets cut.
I think he will. Honestly, I do think that.
I mean, he tore his Achilles.
Don't be surprised if
Jimenez.
Jimenez could be a cut casualty.
That's
too.
why we have 16 linebackers in camp right now.
I know
We're going to
Jimenez
pick
is
the
probably
best
gonna
of
be
the
one.
best that are versatile, that fit our scheme, that Patrick Graham can scheme up in different ways and attack you from different angles.
Yes.
Because the one thing that people don't really realize is Patrick Graham is a master of disguising his blitzes.
Yep.
He'll have you thinking that he's in one coverage, like a cover 2 or a cover 3, and next thing you know, he's in a spy package or something like that. He's great at disguising his coverages. So that what they're looking for is a bunch of versatile secondary players and versatile linebackers that they can use in different areas of versatile pieces. That's why they brought on Blake Martinez. That's why they brought a player like a Fade Odenigbo over here. And they drafted an Azeez Ojulari, because these guys have flexibility and versatility and a high football IQ. So don't be surprised if we're not top 3, the number 1 defense in the league this year.
But how much weight do we say Ellerson Smith has to gain?
Like 20 pounds.
I'll say about 10 to 15 pounds. Because you don't want him to get too big if you want him to play edge. You don't want him to lose.
I don't think it's more so I don't think it's that much more with the weight. I mean, the weight has something to do with it, but I think he has to build muscle mass.
Yeah, because they're gonna probably put him like 10 to 15 more pounds a month. Because you gotta think, Jason Taylor wasn't that huge.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Jason Taylor was only about 265, 270.
Right, and that's about the same weight that he is right now. He's 6'7",
It's like he has muscle mass, but the problem is because he's so tall, he just seems so lanky. You know
but here's a sleeper though. Raymond Johnson III might actually have a chance to get on the field before.
I believe he has a chance to get on this roster. I truly do believe that.
I always forget about Raymond Johnson III.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
we
great?
signed him undrafted with Brett Hagee and Jake Burton.
Undrafted free agent. Look for that guy to get on the field, man. If we cut somebody like a BJ Hill, I believe this guy makes this roster.
Bro, I did a whole
series. Want a new contract for David
I did a whole
Gettleman
3-part series
right
about
now.
the hog mollies that we signed.
I want
And I did
Gettleman signed for 6 more years right now. David Gettleman, 6 more years right
I
now.
don't think he can
Dave
go for 6
Gettleman will
more years,
retire
though,
within the
man.
next 2 years. I think that's why he traded down. I think that's why they did the trade down so aggressively to set up whoever his successor is to have good future picks.
Yeah,
his
because
successor. I don't want to.
he looks more and more tired during this press conferences, man.
Listen,
I
Pat.
think that guy wants his break, man.
Turtles live for 150 years.
Calling Dave Gettleman a turtle.
No, but guys,
That's
remember,
right.
guys, Gabe Gettleman is as healthy as a hoss. Remember that.
You know all I want, really? I know it's not going to happen, but I really want him to be here when this team goes to the Super Bowl. Because he deserves that.
I do too.
Me too.
Hey, listen, that's what I was gonna say when I was saying that everybody was having us at like 5 wins, 7 wins. I believe we can actually pull it off with the pieces that we have. If Daniel Jones plays decent,
average
we
or
can
above.
win a trophy this year. I'm that confident in our coaching staff's ability to use our guys and play them to their strengths. Now, I'm not saying it's a guarantee that we're going to a Super Bowl this year. I'm not jumping out the window and getting that reckless. But what I'm saying is, remember, Patrick Graham is not just the defensive coordinator. He is the assistant head coach of this team. He has a big stay, okay? And I believe him and Joe Judge work great with each other. They play well off of each other. They kind of know what the other one is thinking without having to run across the field or say something across the headset. I believe that these guys have instilled enough for the team to buy in that they will run through a brick wall for them. They will play injured for them, and they will do something even if it doesn't make sense to them because they believe that the coaches are steering them in the right direction and putting them in a position for success. And when you have players buying in to that extent, nothing is impossible. The Philadelphia Eagles are a bum-ass team, and they beat the New England Patriots because they bought in to that underdog mentality, and they were all on the same page. And they were bums. Trash. So I'm telling you, with Joe Judge and our staff and all the athletes that we have on this team, don't be surprised if we fuck around and win this year.
I won't be.
Didn't Joe say that last week?
Good vibes. Pat,
Did I say what?
The exact same thing Lou said.
Here's the problem with New York sports media. The problem is New York State legalized that green stuff that makes it kind of funny, and they keep rolling up these big old fat joints, and they're sitting there in the old room. What can I write about today? Oh, that's right.
Stay off the weed.
Hey, Logan, cover your ears. You can't hear this stuff.
No, but Joe said that last week, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna take it even further, man. You gotta have pride about this team, man.
Yep.
If you're a Giants fan, you gotta get behind this team. You gotta believe, man. I mean, this is your chance to poke your chest out to be a Giants fan right now.
Damn right.
I'm gonna tell you why, because we got a coaching staff like we're used to. We got a quarterback that has potential, and I'm making a video about that coming up, and I'm gonna tell you why, Daniel Jones. You can't hold that kid back, man.
Phil Simms.
He's the type of quarterback that you have to let him play. Open up his playbook and let him play.
I'm a peacock captain. You gotta let me fly.
Right. Right. It's a joke, but it's true. He's the type of quarterback. He's the type of quarterback that either you're gonna win it all or you're gonna lose it all.
Yo,
Hey,
Miz, is that a signed helmet?
Yeah, Eli Manning, Super Bowl helmet.
There you
Yo, watch it. The kid's got stinky fingers. He's scoping
Right.
out the crib, Miz.
Thanks to my good women.
I got a question for you.
Sticky fingers and sticky.
What up, Ash Money?
What did Joel just say? What did Joel just say?
Wait, let Ash Money ask this
Ash
question.
Money said he got a question, yo.
Go ahead, Ash.
Because Good Vibes said this earlier, and I've been thinking, like, ever since last season, I've always thought about this. What do y'all think about, like, Joe Judge, like, potentially becoming, like in that Bill Belichick role where he's also, like, the head coach, but also, like, the general manager, like, doing it himself? What do y'all think about that?
I
Too
think
young.
that would be some years later.
Yeah.
This is his
You gotta
first
wait.
job as a head coach. Let's not forget he was a special teams coach and then a wide receivers coach before becoming a head coach.
Yep.
So although he did great last year, without a preseason or mini camp or OTAs or anything during a pandemic, he handled it very well. But I think he needs to perfect his craft at head coach first
I think the way
before
he
you
has
add that to his plate.
the way he set it up though, where he's not the OC or the DC though, like he set himself up. Like I'm just throwing this out there. 10 years from now, when
No, he's a planner. He's a teacher,
yeah.
and
I
he
think
handles everything with precise.
none of us doubt his
methodical.
ability. None of us doubt his ability, but we definitely see like he made a pretty big jump from where he was at to becoming the head coach.
I think the only way that happens is if we win a Super Bowl or two, and then Dave Gettleman retires, and they be
But
like,
I think, go ahead. Sorry.
and I think they'd be like, if we want to keep that same vibe going on, why not let him control the GM and be the head coach, because he's been that great with Dave Gettleman. He helped Dave Gettleman build this roster to win the Super Bowl. So
But
why
I don't
not?
know how important it
Yeah,
is,
but
though. I think as
companies-
long as they get someone that gels with him, because I don't think Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge were buddy before, but like they're grown men. They're like, okay, we both want to win. What do we got to do? So I don't know how important it is. But
As long
I
as
get
their
what you're saying.
football philosophies line up
Yeah.
to the point where they're not butting heads over every decision, then that's good. But I believe that Joe Judge I don't think it would be right to just skip over Kevin Abrams like that if Gettleman was to retire or get ill again, God forbid, or something like that. Because then that would cause animosity between Kevin Abrams
forgot
and
about
Joe
Kevin
Judge.
Abrams. Yeah.
And that might cause friction in the selecting of talent and scouting of talent and bringing in new players. So when you're grooming a guy up for a position, and you're on your way out, sometimes these organizations, they get to pick their successor. They'll tell ownership, hey, I've been training this guy. He spent this many years under me, working with me. He's a great scout. I believe he has the ability, much like Bill Belichick did for Joe Judge when he spoke to John Mara and Steve Tisch about Joe Judge. So
that's a really good point.
Now, Pat had brought up.
You put too much on a person's plate, right? There hasn't been many great GM head coaches except for basically Belichick. And Belichick hasn't done a great job drafting. We're talking about great drafts. So maybe if he wasn't a GM and a coach, he could focus on one aspect and make those players better. I'm just saying, I always like here's the GM and here's the coach role, because to me it's like you both have to collaborate, but one has to do the office work. The other one has to do the football work, right? So one has to go out and get the players, and the other has to go out and coach those players. I want them to be in the same room when they draft them. I hope Joe Judge, was the guy who, helped select Tony, and not was like, oh, here you go, Gettleman, select whoever you want. I feel that's happening. But as a GM, I would want him to stay just a coach, because I just think that's where you're going to do the best.
Go ahead, Joel. You had something to say, Joel? Go ahead.
Well, Pat, you were saying you have to let Daniel Jones play his game. Okay, we've been discussing, I brought up Phil Simms, and people are saying, yes, 1984 all over again. So let's say it's week 1, we're playing Denver, it's 4:25 kickoff. Daniel Jones comes out slinging that ball, looking okay, throws 4 picks, and we lose 28-29. 28-30, right in that area. Pretty good, high-scoring game. Do you feel that if he was to do that and kind of just get some confidence and break out, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to fling this thing all over the place because I'm going to see what works, what doesn't. If we lose a game like that, are you going to have confidence in him, or would you rather rein him back a little bit and see more of a controlled ground and pound type of a game?
That doesn't even sound like Joe Judge, though. Just letting it fly willy-nilly, though.
Hey, you know what?
I'm not saying let him throw it all over the place. I'm saying when you do let the guy throw it, let him be him. Let him throw that ball deep. Let him throw his receiver open on the deep ball. You can't just confine him to quick curls and slants. You can't do that. I believe he's more talented of a quarterback than that. When they let that man throw that ball, he was making Golden Tate look good because Golden Tate was going up and grabbing those
That
things.
requires a running back that blocks in the backfield.
Remember,
That's true,
circles
Adam.
back.
That's true.
Remember
why
when
I
we
say
played?
that?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, just real quick, Pat. Why I say that is because that's what Parcells told Sims to do. Parcells went to Sims and said, if you don't throw this ball deep down the sideline, your ass is getting benched, end quote. And that was the first game in 84.
Yeah, because he's a great deep ball thrower. The more film I look at the guy, he's a great deep ball thrower. They said he had no arm, but it's not true.
Right.
He can throw that ball.
Remember when we played? Remember we played Philly the second time and Daniel Jones threw like those two deep balls back to back and they intercepted.
Yes.
Back shoulder throws, by the way, those are hard.
Right. You gotta let this kid play.
But I'm just saying that what if he throws 4 picks in that learning curve, and then all of a sudden we go on a 5-game win streak?
I'm fine with it.
I'm just saying.
Let's hope he doesn't do that in the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, he could with Denver secondary.
This is a kid that can lead you down.
You're right.
Get you a win, and then one game he might turn around and throw 3 picks. You never know with a guy like that. But most gunslingers in this league have been successful.
Right.
Like the least successful one I know is Ryan Fitzpatrick because he's too much of a Jekyll and Hyde. But you gotta think, Brett Favre,
Maybe Jameis,
I think, still leads the league all time in interceptions, right?
Yep.
And he's considered one of the best to ever do it. Why? Because when he did gunsling that ball and he made plays, it was amazing.
They
But
said
sometimes he could get himself in trouble.
They said Jameis made a new definition for 30 for 30.
Right. Right.
Well, I think I want to touch on what Ash said about coaching, right? If coaching is supposed to make people better, well, then let's see if Joe Judge really watched the film last year, and the film prior to him getting to the Giants and plays to Daniel Jones' strength. That'll be part of it. I know everyone wants to blame Jason Garrett, but it runs through Joe Judge, right? Joe Judge is the final stamp of approval. These are the plays you're going to run. Okay, go ahead, Jason, go call it. So let's see what Joe Judge is going to do, and if he opens it up.
But that's not only playing to Daniel Jones' strengths, but also the wide receiver strengths, because we didn't have a wide receiver whose main strength was going up downfield. And now that we have that with Kenny Golladay, like that, I would be surprised if Joe Judge let Jason Garrett clap on a slant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way he's gonna let him do that. Like Joe Judge says, we play to people's strengths. We got players that have strengths that we needed last year, so it's gonna change. It has to change.
Hey, I just want to say I do gotta go. I'm getting pretty late for me. I just got off of work at like 9, so
I'm finna wrap it up in a little bit, but I gotta do this for my boy Mac, the Giants fan. Thank you for coming in, bro. I'm gonna put your link in the chat so people can follow you, man.
Yeah. Also, are you talking about me or Matt?
Mac.
Oh,
Thanks to Giants.
But go ahead. Say your last thing, Ash.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I just got on, like, you literally started streaming like right when I got off of work, so I've been on since I got off of work. Yeah. But and then I gotta go like finish editing this J. Cole album review video, and I gotta record some videos. So I appreciate you for having me on. I enjoyed Adam
album.
I think the one with 21. The one with 21, I think. But I gotta go back and listen to it again. But yeah,
I like the one with Killer Cam on there myself.
Yeah, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also I think I got most of y'all socials. Me and Hub got an announcement. I'm to text y'all over social media. I got an announcement in a couple weeks. I gotta talk to y'all. So, but yeah, man, thank you for having me on. Joel, Lou, Logan, Adam, Miz, Rick, Pat. I'll catch y'all later.
Peace, bro.
All right, man. Thank you all, man, for showing support, bro.
Have a great night, boss.
How you like this version of the channel, man? How you like just
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone here is cool.
Yeah. Cool,
cool,
man.
I mean, Miz is a legend. So
We love football, man. That's all we do. We love the
Miz is the greatest quarterback in NFL history. Let's be honest.
I think
But
the first time I ever saw Miz, he was on Hub and he was like this close to the camera.
Yeah.
I was like, this
He
guy
does.
has
Hey,
something
when
to
he gets
say.
animated,
He's like,
about
we need
something-
Micah Parsons.
Yo, Hub, I want Parsons.
I want Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that was
I
hilarious.
love that.
But I'm gonna let y'all get your last comments in before I shut this down. We've been here almost 3 hours, guys. We've had a consistent 20 people watching. That's pretty cool. Thank y'all.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, my last thing is this. First 2 games in 4 days, we go 2-0. Division
Yes,
over.
sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go 2-0 those first 4 games. I think we go on a run, man.
Oh, God. Chris pops in when we're
Yeah, I was
leaving.
gonna say.
Right. Been here the whole time, Chris, and now you pop in.
Yeah, because I even found out what JET stands for. It says just end the season. I was all ready for it.
What you got for
Yeah.
us? Oh man,
I'm gonna bounce out, guys. I'm tired, but this is
Me
fun,
too.
Pat. You know I like when you do this every week. So
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I've
Every
been
Monday.
listening.
All right,
so
man.
just
Have a good
see
night,
what
bro.
happens.
Peace,
You
man.
know, I think OTAs are coming up. So
Yes.
I think I already started, haven't it?
Rookie minicamp.
Yep.
I thought
Yeah, I
OTAs
saw
had
that.
started
Oh.
for some teams already.
I don't
too,
think it's
but-
rookie minicamp anymore. I think it's something else.
Now it might be OTAs.
Yeah, I think it's starting like soon. But Miz, you have a good night, bro.
Good
Yeah,
night, bro.
all right,
man.
guys.
See
Thanks
you
for
on the
having
next
me. Have a good night.
boss.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. What you got for us, Lou, or anybody want to speak before I get off?
I just want to say thanks every week for having this. I really love talking Giant football. I don't know where I don't really have an outlet to let this passion and let these thoughts out. So to have you guys here every week talking is really a breath of fresh air for me. So I just want to say thanks for having me every week and getting to talk Giant football with y'all. So
That's why I created the channel, bro. There's a lot of us out there that love the Giants, man. I want to talk about the Giants and have many subjects about sports, any type of sports. So I'm always, you can always come talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk, man. That's why I say it. Logan, go to bed.
have a good
I'm
night, fellas.
tired, my guy.
All right, Joe, what you got for us, man?
Man, again, just like everyone else said, Pat, this is great. I enjoy it. You put my channel out there for me too, and I greatly appreciate that. And it's just great to be part of such a community where we can all come together and we can argue and we can make our points and we can do it in a not so rough manner.
Yeah.
Just a friendly.
Just talking
Okay.
about our.
Hey, we're not
Right.
Eagles fans, you know what I mean?
Right. I'm gonna dig a little bit.
We're not
okay,
eating horse
but-
poop.
Right.
Some Eagles fans will put a gun to your head if they don't like your opinion.
Hey,
Sorry, guys. Little man woke up, had to put him back to sleep.
no, you're
Oh,
fine,
yeah,
Lou.
Lou.
We're just
Lou.
getting
We're
ready to
finna put
close
this to
shop
sleep
here.
real quick, Lou. And
Oh
thank
man,
you.
what did I miss?
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't miss much. I think
we were singing "Kumbaya," baby.
I didn't get to argue with Joel this week.
What do you want to
The
argue
only thing,
about?
you missed really, Lou, is me and Joe kind of in agreement. You gotta let Daniel Jones play. You can't baby. You can't
he
baby
has
a
the
quarterback
skills,
like
yeah.
that.
I believe he has the skills, but what I'm saying is this year is a make or break for him
I agree.
because you've put all the pieces around him. And now this year there's no COVID excuse, there's no first year in the system excuse. There's no we didn't have OTAs or mini camp or preseason excuse. So now what I really feel though, if Daniel Jones fails, it's not because of him. I think the organization failed him by throwing him out there week 2, week 3, instead of letting him sit behind Eli for a year and learning how to read coverages, how to audible out of it and check into a better play that fits the coverage that you're being presented with. There was a lot of stuff that he could have learned by sitting there, watching the iPad with Eli, dissecting plays, what went wrong, what went well with this play. You know, had he had that time to sit under Eli for a year, even if we'd have lost that season, you know, we already knew things were going bad. So one more losing season with him learning behind Eli would have benefited him greatly, and we wouldn't be having this discussion now. But now, since it is what it is, he's in a make or break season because it's going to be his 5th year next season, right?
No, this is his
third year.
This is his 3rd year.
Third.
Okay.
So we're gonna have him for 2 more years, Lou. I feel
Yeah.
because I don't think the quarterback class is all that hot next year. I really don't. That Jason Rattler, he's got attitude problems. The kid at
you talking about the kid
USC
from Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, yeah.
or Oklahoma, yeah. But the kid from
man, he's
USC,
immature as they come, man.
No,
Yeah,
not
I
that
hope-
kid from USC.
I hope he does
Liberty
well,
guy.
and I think he has the tools to do it. But if he doesn't, then I say we keep him for another year and then try to get the Manning kid.
Arch Manning. Tank
It'd
for
be
Arch
great to have
Manning.
another Manning. Oh, no tanking.
Tank for
Listen,
Arch Manning.
we are not the
2026.
Eagles.
I'm
Mute him.
joking. I'm joking. I'm not like that. I was just messing with you.
you're close. Joe Kitch, right? Joe Kitch, not joking. Joe Kitch.
I agree. Eli never complained because he was all class, and I wish he would have opened his mouth up and said something because
me too.
his opinion held a lot of weight there, especially with Mara.
Man.
I
But you see how
believe after that first couple of seasons of that bad offensive line, if he would have opened up his mouth and said something, I believe the offensive line would have been.
I mean, that man was getting paid. He's getting
Because
paid.
you saw
I
him
don't know.
crying when Coach Coughlin resigned.
Yes, he did. That changed him. He was never the same.
That hurt him to his core.
Yeah, because he
knew it
felt
wasn't
like
Coughlin's
if they can turn on Coughlin like that, they'll turn on me in a heartbeat. That's when his eyes were open
Yep.
to the business side of the NFL.
Yep. That was his first business side of opening up to him. That, and it crushed him because he knew it wasn't Coughlin's fault. He knew what it was with the organization. But he's never been the type of guy to open up his mouth about anything. He just goes out there and plays, man. That's what I loved about the guy. He was a warrior, man. Didn't matter what the situation was, man. Any quarterback, I don't care what anybody say. There's not too many quarterbacks in that San Francisco game other than Eli Manning that could have pulled that out.
Exactly.
Right.
What?
But
Because he was absolutely getting beat in that 49ers game. I
Who
was,
they had over there? They had Alden Smith and who else?
they had Alden
Didn't they have
Smith,
Patrick
Justin
Willis?
Smith. They had Patrick Willis,
Patrick Willis was
Navarro
something
Bowman.
Yeah, they was killing him.
Man, they was some absolute
They
money.
was hitting him like we did Brady.
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
Wasn't
But
there a
so
white
that-
guy
that
in
was
San
like-
Francisco?
That just showed you
Mm-hmm.
that what we did to Brady threw him off and
Later,
we won the
authentic.
Super Bowl, and what San Francisco did to Eli made him play harder, and we won.
but you
So
know what?
all-
I see
all
this.
that
I see
conversation
Jones.
about Eli not being elite. They need to stop that and trash that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer all day.
Yeah, I don't understand how you say you can't put that guy in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on, man.
I refuse to talk about that because he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But as far as Jones' toughness goes, I mean, with everything that's coming out, I think Jones has the toughness to play too.
Oh,
when
he's
they
a great
talk about
yeah.
that. So this injury thing that everybody talks about with Jones, that's just the goddamn reporters. Sorry, didn't mean that. That's just the reporters going after a clickbait article saying that Jones is
Damn
injury
right,
prone.
authentic.
You know, that's what irks me because that kid played with an injury that was way worse than a lot of people would have sat out with, but he had the heart, the desire, and the want to be the leader of this team. And showing up to OTAs right now already, the first day, that's
Yeah,
telling
but
me
sometimes
everything.
we got to save the players from themselves because had he messed around and injured himself worse,
Even more.
now we'd
Yeah.
be sitting here talking about looking for a quarterback.
I get it. But you know what? When
But
you're
I
an
think Joe
athlete like
Judge
that-
actually cares about his players. And I
Yes.
think that he's not going to rush anybody back off of injury. He's going to try to do the best thing to keep them around for the long haul. Because I believe that him and Dave Gettleman are on the same page as far as trying to build a team of sustained success. Not
Yes.
just a quick year and then,
Yes.
Well, fellas, I'd like to thank you guys for being on here with me for almost 3 hours. That's crazy. We always find a way to get past that 2 hour mark. I don't know how we do it, But we find a way to do it.
Man,
That's all right. It'll
every
get your
Monday.
view times up and get your watch hours up. Don't worry about it.
That's right. I've just got to create some kind of a pee jug over here. I mean, the bathroom's a long ways away. I sit there for 3 hours.
But we got to find a way to get this on your channel too, Lou. You're a co-host.
No, we can. I got my webcam and my StreamYard and all that, so we can do it on my channel next week.
Cool. We'll be doing it on Lou's channel next week. I'm quite sure. If he needs any help, he'll be giving me a call and I have to give another tutorial. I don't mind.
Oh, word. That's how you gonna speak on the live. All right.
Hey, that was dope though. When you found out how to do it, ain't it dope? That's crazy, man. This creating this stuff on here is pretty cool, man.
No, it is. It is.
And I'll tell you what, it's hard to talk to a camera for 10 minutes trying to create content. Oh my God.
It is.
When you first start doing it, you feel crazy.
When you first started,
When I first started, when I made my first video, I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here going,
Then you go back and watch it and you criticize everything about your look, the way you spoke, the way you moved.
Yes.
But
Like a robot.
after like my first 2 videos, I could just get into it. I wasn't like,
Now it's natural. It's like natural to me.
Now it's like I do this, it's
Like
whatever.
to
But
do
when
it.
I first started, it's like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I got to start going
He's
live
the
myself.
youngest dude on here, and he's the only person cursing. Where are your parents?
Right. I told him to go to sleep a long time ago. He's still here. Can't get rid of him, man.
That's a Giants fan for you.
Right.
Well, you can't get rid of us.
Right.
Looking forward to doing the show on Lou's channel next week. True Big Blue Podcast with your boy GNATION, aka Mr. Lou, and your boy Big Pat Sports Talk, man. Love talking to you guys.
Thank all you guys for
tuning
joining
in.
the stream. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
And Reek, you're always welcome, bro. You
I'm
got
gonna be
some
back.
Projects?
Yes,
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back with some questions.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much,
I can't
Lord.
wait.
Hopefully, we
your
can
question,
answer them
man.
intelligently.
Right.
But say that again.
I said, hopefully, we'll be able to answer them intelligently.
I sure
He
hope
always
so.
has good questions, though.
I have questions tomorrow for Hub, so if you want to tune in, if he has his
Yeah, he
show on
will.
tomorrow. Yeah, I
Oh,
have
is
the
Hub doing
questions ready.
something tomorrow?
Hub,
Hub
yeah,
usually does. On
Yeah,
Tuesday.
he does a Young Gun podcast. I believe he's on Tuesdays
No.
and Wednesdays with
No, it's
KB.
on Wednesdays. He does the call-ins tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow. Tomorrow.
His Tuesdays are his call-in show, and then Wednesday nights are the Young Guns podcast.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because me and Zion was going to do something tomorrow.
Well, he doesn't usually do it until 9:30 for his call-in. So
I
if
do
you
my
something-
podcast tomorrow too.
Yeah, do yours probably around like 6 or 7. A lot of
Hey,
people be
brother.
tuned in.
I work.
That's true too.
I get home at like 6. I'm not going to get in front of the camera without taking a shower and eating dinner.
Oh, what? Why not?
I'll be the crankiest Giants fan you ever seen. People start unsubscribing to my channel. I'm like that Snickers commercial. I'll turn into Joe Pesci on everybody.
That's right.
Nah, man, but I can't wait till you start doing when you start bringing up your own channel and everything, Lou. You know I'm gonna be turned in.
No, yeah, I'm gonna start going live soon now that I'm getting the hang of this webcam and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we're gonna do it, all of us, man. Everybody that comes on this channel and calls in, we all have good debates, good ideas, and we're all passionate Giants fans. So as long as we keep doing what we're doing, everything that we're hoping for will come. So
Yep. But I'm finna hit y'all with the ending banner, and we finna get out of here, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate
Peace.
it.
Peace, man.
Peace.